Welcome to Truth Uncompromised. I am your host, Rhonda. Join us every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Truth is peace. Truth is justice and freedom to love, live, and be. Music provided by SourceVibrations.com. I am love. I am peace. I am free. I have abundance. I have everything within me. For I was, for I am, for I always be. We are love. We are peace. We are free. We have abundance. We have everything within us. For we are, for we will always be. For Mother Earth is love. For Mother Earth has peace. For Mother Earth is free. For Mother Earth has abundance. For Mother Earth has everything within her. For she was, for she is, for she will always be. And so it is spoken. So it has been written, and it is done.
You have entered into a dimension of truth, where time does not exist, and illusions are shattered. The journey of truth is intense. The journey of truth will set you free. Consider this a warning as you enter the dimension of truth uncompromised. All right, family. Welcome to the Truth Uncompromised show. I am your host, Rhonda, and tonight is Thursday, April 25th, and we have a great show planned for you tonight. We are on part 4 of our series, The Lands of the Giants. So just a quick little recap from last week. We kind of went into a little bit of Enoch. So we're going to also pick back up on Enoch, kind of dive into his lineage and genealogy, because Enoch was known as a giant as well. And in addition to that, and we'll talk about this a little bit more, Enoch was also tied in with the Anunnaki. So we're going to pick back up on our series tonight, The Lands of the Giants. In addition to that, I did have some follow-up information. We, for the last 2 weeks, kind of went over some of the surnames. Specifically, we started with the first members of Congress after the Civil War, who were called the first melanated / black House of Representatives and senators. So we went back, looked at those surnames, and of course traced them back to either the black nobility, kings and queens of Europe, or in their particular family, and or in their particular court. So this week we got through that list, which was very, very, very interesting. So if you didn't get a chance to hear that, I would and review the previous 2 shows. We talked about that at the beginning. This week we're going to get into the first, quote, quote, melanated, quote, quote, black, but melanated presidents before George Washington. So we're going to look at their heritage as well. All right, so with that said, let me bring on my co-host. I see Brother Sean, and I see Sis Sandra. Let me get Brother Sean on. Peace and love, brother. How are you?
Wholeness and power, sis. I'm well. How about you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Good to hear your voice.
Likewise. Likewise.
Good. Good deal. Good deal. All right, let me bring on Sis Sandra. Peace and love, sis. How are you?
Oh, peace and love to you, sis. I'm fine, thank you. And to you, Brother Sean. And to the family.
All right. Good to hear your voice, sis.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so before I go into follow-up items and all of that, sis, we'll let you go first. Since you have like 2 weeks of stuff built up, you have any go ahead on with the fuckery? You have 2 weeks worth of stuff built up.
Oh, not really. I wasn't feeling well, so I let the world take care of itself.
Absolutely. I know that's right.
But I just really noticed they are telling the people finally that the planet shift is happening.
So you're seeing news stories too, right?
Yes. They're telling them the planet shift is speeding up and they can't keep up with it. And I said, And I was on my way to Los Angeles on the 18th. And you can see that winged disc, because it got 2 little, like, horns sticking out on either side in the sky. It is no question what that is. And they are not telling anybody anything, but it's in the south-north part of the sky, southeast, excuse me. And I'm like, oh, look at that. I was driving, otherwise I'd had me some great pictures. It was about 5-something in the morning. You could see it really, really, really good. Really good. So you know who that is with Enoch and Noah. And that's to be real interesting because, I mean, you were with us when we did the whole series on, I forgot what we even called it. I shouldn't have forgot it because we spent 6 months on it. Yeah, the Lost Book of Enki. And we took the Lost Book of Enki. Brother Wendell broke that down really flawlessly. But we also lined it up with the Book of Enoch, Holy Bible, and the Sumerian text. Right.
And I just, we'll get a little bit more into that because when Enoch came up in this giant series, I'm like, now that's making a lot of sense to me. But anyhow, sis, that's pretty cool. Again, I know California is seeing a lot of phenomenal, things in the sky. Rap the News. He has a YouTube channel called Rap the News. He's literally catching stuff in the sky like every other day. He's catching like this planet that looks like it's on fire.
That's what it looks
He's
like.
catching fireballs in the sky, all of that, which, you know, is plasma. And we'll talk about that a little bit if time permits, because Brother Sean hit me up with a few little videos this week. Now people are starting to talk about the plasma.
It's kind of purple in our skies too, and orange and red, and it's a lot. It's cool, but it's not going to be cool because you know what? It's part of the situation. But we're getting that in California.
Wow. Well, it'd be cool for those that are in tune. You know, those that don't want to move on from 3D. You know, it is what it is. So, but all right. Well, good deal. Well, welcome back. Glad you're feeling better. I understand that.
You.
All right, Brother Sean, you have any go ahead on with the fuckery for the family?
Now you remember a little while back they say they had found a meteor with traces of THC on it.
What? I ain't heard that one now.
Yeah, this was out a couple of years ago, but
okay.
Now they're saying that NASA has spotted a planet that's all marijuana.
You lying on that.
So I'm not.
You lying on them. You
No,
they
I'm
gonna try
not.
to tell us that it's a planet out there of just weed. That's what you saying.
Yeah, that's what they said.
How far is this supposedly and allegedly away? Did they get
I don't remember. I don't remember all the specs. I have to look it up, but that's what they're saying. Though they saying they believe that it can support human life because hemp is growing there, and you know how it's oxygen producer. Now, the reason I'm mentioning this is because remember when I think it was Brother Collider was saying they was teaching his niece that the Earth was going to die and we're going to have to go to Mars.
Yep.
So guess how they about to get these? Well, everybody who like to get high.
Let me tell you something.
Thinking they about to go to a planet full of weed.
Yeah, so I'm like, they trying to get all of the, herb heads. They can forget that. Y'all, let me tell you something. You can take your raglan ass up there, thinking you can get some herb when you could grow your own motherfucking herb. So that ain't impressing nobody.
Believe me, some people gonna go for it. Cross all nationalities.
Me up there. Yeah, we can get blazed on a regular basis. Damn all that, and you get up there, and then the weed plant trying to eat you.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking, because if ain't no people there already. The weed plant, the weed is what sent that message.
Fly trap.
Right. The weed sent the message. Send more smokers.
Damn, just stick me with a fork. I am straight up done.
That is funny.
I'm just done. Now, you know what? That's exactly what it is, because if they saying weed can grow up there, how come they ain't roaches is motherfucking up there? You know.
Big roaches.
You know.
Science.
Right. With flying roaches and all of that. They full of it. Wow. Yeah. And how do they see the herb plant?
I have no idea.
Well, there was a monkey on Mars on one of them things the other day, so maybe the monkey was getting high off of it. Who knows?
He needs to smoke. Shit. If he was sitting over there, I'd be puffing too. Ooh, child. Okay, y'all. They getting desperate. They done brought out the weed card. Now, next they going to be paying y'all to go. Watch. Mark my words. They going to be offering money and setting up you a pod to go, all of that bullshit.
I wonder why. That's the issue. Why?
Well, because when you have a slavery system, don't you need slaves?
Yeah, that's true. That chattel property.
They think, exactly. They think they slick because reign is over here. So, yeah, they just trying to sign folks up for the next 26,000 and some odd chain cycle of a lower dimension. Because remember, those particular entities that set up the slavery system, they cannot operate in a higher vibration system. And they feed off of others' energy. So, yeah, I can see them pulling out all the stops. So next it's going to be some money. They didn't started with the weed. So it's going to be some money next. I have heard it all. Wow. All right, and so as Sis pointed out, we're starting to see in the news publication them talking about pole shifts. Now, this week out of the UK, this site is called express.co.uk. They have oh shit! Let me start signing on. Have out here mini ice age warning as solar minimum hit all-time high. It's a perfect storm. Now, again, I'm going to say shout out to Brother Kalai because he told y'all that Europe, Russia, and all of them was going to be freezing over. And, there's other folks out there as well that have been making that particular call. And then the rough winter hit in those places. Okay? And even with the rough winter, that's the part that's straight tripping me out. Even with the rough winter, they still were not willing to admit what was really going on. But now they're starting to come out with it. Although the U.S., once again, is still slow at releasing it. So am I still breaking up?
Yes and no. Yes and no.
Okay, well, I'm just going to switch. That's the reason I was asking. Hold on a second. Okay, all right, sorry about that.
I'm here. She's doing her thing.
She may have muted herself. But they saying that story about the weed planet was a hoax. They say it's been going around since 2015.
Okay. Sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. It would have been nice if I unmuted myself, but thank you, Brother Sean. Okay. All right, so here we go with this mini ice age warning as solar minimum hits an all-time high. The solar minimum is well and truly here after scientists recorded an all-time high in cosmic rays. Okay, now when they talk about cosmic rays, that's associated with plasma, okay, meaning Earth could face a mini ice age. Some 10 years ago, scientists noticed an all-time high in cosmic rays which originated from deep space, not to be confused with solar rays. Now scientists have noticed cosmic rays are back on the up as the sun goes deeper into a solar minimum. The sun follows cycles of roughly 11 years where it reaches a solar maximum and then a solar minimum. During a solar maximum, the sun gives off more heat and is littered with sunspots. Less heat in a solar minimum is due to a decrease in magnetic waves. Okay, so if that's the case, then why are you saying it's an uptick in cosmic rays? So stop lying. But anyway, fewer magnetic waves equates to the sun being slightly cooler, and experts are expecting the solar minimum to deepen even further before it gets warming. Now remember, this is coming out of the UK, so just keep in mind they got to get their shit together to tell the UK why the weather is so off the chain. Okay, with less magnetic waves coming from the sun, cosmic rays find it easier to penetrate Earth's atmosphere and are more noticeable to scientists. Now, with cosmic rays at an all-time high, scientists know the sun is about to enter a prolonged cooling period. Cosmic forecasting site Space Weather states groundbreaking neutron monitor and high-altitude cosmic rays balloons are registering a new increase in cosmic rays. Now, again, I'm going to tell you all, when they use cosmic rays, that is plasma that they're speaking of. Okay, the Ulla neutron monitor in Finland, which has been making measurements since 1964, reports levels in April 2019 only percentage point below the space age maximum 2009. What's going on? The answer is solar minimum. During the low phase of the 11-year solar cycle, the sun's magnetic field and solar wind weakens. Okay, damn it. These advertisements pop up. Hopefully. Okay, cosmic rays find it easier to penetrate the inner solar system in 2009, the sun experienced the deepest solar minimum in a century. Cosmic rays reached Earth's naturally surge. 10 years later, solar minimum is back with renewed weakening of the sun's magnetic field and the solar winds. Again, it's a perfect storm. A panel of experts led by NOAA and NASA recently predicted that the current minimum would reach a nadir in late 2019, likely matching the record-setting minimum of 2009. Yeah, right. I'm sure they surpassed 2009, because why are we seeing plasma shoot across the sky and plasma hitting the damn transformers? So they can go on somewhere with that. But anyway, the last time a prolonged solar minimum was in effect was the Munder minimum, which saw 7 decades of freezing weather beginning in 1645 and lasted through to 1715, and happened when sunspots were exceedingly rare. During this period, temperatures dropped globally by 1.3 degrees Celsius, leading to a shorter seasons and ultimately food shortages and what was called a mini ice age. Okay, so again, shout out to Brother Kalai, because he called this shit. He told y'all that Europe, Russia, and them was going into an ice age. They're going to have problems with food shortages. We told you that's one of the reasons why, China has bought a bunch of land, or supposedly they were given land because of debt in Cali, okay, for farmland. That's why they're one of the reasons also why they're over in Africa for agricultural purposes. Okay, and you can look it up where you see where China is doing a lot of agriculture over in Africa, and China is also building a lot of indoor greenhouses, huge indoor greenhouses. So I already knew what time that was when I saw China make those moves. Okay. Vencor Weather, a meteor website, said low solar activity is known to have consequences on Earth's weather and climate, and it also is well correlated with an increase in cosmic rays that reach the upper part of the atmosphere. The blank sun is a sign that the next solar minimum is approaching, and there will be an increasing number of spotless days over the next few years. Okay, so what the hell they mean by the blank sun? And an increasing number of spotless days over the next few years.
Maybe they thought the black sun.
I almost thought it was black. I had to blink my eyes a few little times to make sure it was blank versus black. But it sounds like they talking about, the prophecy when they talk about the 3 days of darkness and all of that jazz.
Well,
so that's interesting.
We're still supposed to go through that Galactica rift because you can see the Milky Way at nighttime, and we're so close to it right now. See, because that's the null zone, and that's the days of darkness. So obviously we're going to go through it before the sun, or vice versa. I can't remember which it was, but it depends on which one goes through first, on how much darkness we will have. So
go ahead.
So that's maybe what they're talking about, the blank sun, because it's not going to be there.
Well, I do want to point the family to some video that Brother Sean sent me that this one brother did on plasma. I'm trying to pull it. Is it the state of the plasma state of, Brother Sean? Let me pull it up. That I'm going to recommend the family to take a look at because he did an excellent job. And actually, two people did an excellent job, but I think the brother broke it down a lot clearer. So now WSO, he has a pretty decent following. He did a video on the plasma state of mind, and it's literally called The Plasma State of Mind, Why Are We Discussing It? And then another brother, trying to find that one brother, it's the true definition. He laid this out, y'all. This is the one I highly recommend to talk about the plasma. Now, I've been talking about this plasma going on 2 years, but he did an excellent job. It's off of YouTube channel RFG, Chosen One, the true definition of plasma. I highly, highly recommend that you go listen to this brother's video. It's not long. It's only 29 minutes. He's going to break down what plasma really is and why they're not telling you what it truly is. And it's really going to blow your mind. He did an excellent job. I agree 1,000% on what he's speaking on what plasma is. It will make a lot of sense to you. So I highly recommend that you listen to it. Again, the YouTube channel is RFG Chosen One. It's the true definition of plasma. He laid it out. Okay, so we're putting this out there to you all to get prepared. So those balls of light, flashing lights that people are seeing in the sky, sometimes they're white, sometimes they're red. What the hell color was it in New York? Wasn't it blue? It was the sky blue, and it was blinking white. And then Brother Sean, by you sent a picture of the purple. The sky was purple as F, y'all. Real purple. When you said that transformer had blew up by you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I highly encourage the family to take a listen to that video because it's only ramping up. And like I said, Rap the News, either he's filming it like once or twice a week himself, or he's running up on other videos where people are filming it. And he's going to talk about it being Planet Hell with the flashes of balls of fire in the sky. But that fire is plasma, family. Plasma. And it has an intelligence to it. And that's why I kept making the statement. Now, I was given this through meditation a couple years ago. I kept making the statement, don't explain shit to me. You want to argue with me about what's going on. Stand your ass out in the elements and argue to the elements about it. But I highly recommend that one brother's video, RFG. He really goes in deep on it. Now, in addition to that, Brother Kalai, I want to say over the weekend or late last week, I caught the replay. He did a show where him and his boy Riz took a picture from NASA that somebody sent them. And I can't remember who sent them. I don't know if they're associated with Dude or Dude gave them permission to use the picture or whatever. But they literally took a picture that NASA had up on one of its sites of sun flares, what NASA is calling sun flares. I highly encourage you, go check that breakdown, because when they blew that damn picture up, it's going to blow your wig back. Nothing is what they are telling you. Nothing is what they're telling you. And now we're able to catch the shit literally on camera. It is right there before your face. So I'll try to pull the name of the Brother Kalai's video or whatever for you all, but I'm telling you, it's going to blow your wig plumb off. You know that this was, a picture from NASA. I'm sorry, go ahead, sis.
I don't know if he's showing this, but they said there was a big old hole in the sun because it blew itself out when one of those EMPs was released from it when it was at its maximum.
Yeah, when I tell you, go look at that video. They show, I'm just going to give y'all just a quick little preview. Just tell you, I'm telling you, y'all, when they blew up the picture, they show you those supposed sunspots. And I'm telling you, y'all, there's beings there. You got one person seem like they're operating the sun. You got one motherfucker in a space suit, couple of motherfuckers in a space suit, and then you got other people not letting them through. It's like these bastards trying to get through a portal. And you got the gatekeeper saying, no, bitch, you ain't finna come through here. I'm telling you, y'all, it tripped me all the way out. And it reminded me of, if y'all seen Thor, y'all know the little Thor series, and how, my dude Idris is the gatekeeper of the realm, letting people in and out of the portal. They literally, family, caught this in one of the pictures just by blowing it up. So, as a matter of fact, the video is called Solar Observatory Portal, War on the Sun. It was last week. So, again, this is Brother Kalai Ma'at Amin Ra's channel. The video is called Solar Observatory Portal, War on the Sun. I highly recommend you go watch that and you'll see what I'm talking about. So none of what they're talking about, the sunspot, all of that, they are lying through their teeth. It is a lot deeper than what they are telling you. It's all spiritual, and these are the things that they're hiding from us. They want to keep everything on the physical level, but now the spiritual or unseen world is merging with the physical world. Okay, and if you go to that other brother's video about the plasma, the RFG brother that I spoke on, he speaks on this a little bit as well. But we're merging. Okay, so that's what the whole going to another dimension or upgrading to 5D, because really we're going to go past 5D, is all about. So that's why now we can see those things. Okay, so we're putting this out there for you all every week. So number one, you can be aware of it. Number two, you can always do your own research. And then the third thing is so you won't be shocked when this stuff jumps off. And then when it jumps off, whatever bullshit excuse they try to come up with, you'll be up on game. You'll already know what time it is. Okay. All righty. So let me see any other updates. I had it, but I lost it. Oh, well, sorry, y'all. Okay, I thought I had another update for y'all on the magnetic field and weather, and I can't find it. Okay, so before I pause, Brother Sean or Sis, did you all have anything else you want to put on it before we get into the first melanated prezes before Washington, George Washington?
Well,
go ahead, bro.
Plasma is also water. It's just highly charged water. We are in the water world.
We've been saying that, though.
Exactly. With different layers and different densities of water.
Exactly.
So, I mean, ain't no rocket ships making it out of here. For people that still believe they've been to the moon. It was already, what they said, it was back in the 50s or whatever that German scientist was saying that the moon was made of plasma. Yeah,
Blood sure did. And he was on there just as calm and collective. He was like, and did he not say that they are not going to the moon? Because he said before they lied and said they went. This man said it up in the 50s, before, I think 11 years, Brother Sean. I think that was 58 that dude said that they ain't going to the moon because you can't go to the moon because it's plasma.
Right.
Just like, Dr. Blair, rest in power, Dr. Blair, he been saying all along that the sun is magnetic, it's not hot, it's not what they say it is. So, yeah, absolutely.
Just thinking back to 1 degree difference can kill off crops, can stop food from growing. And they constantly chemtrailing and blocking out the sun. Don't matter how many fake suns they put out, it ain't.
Right.
It ain't the real deal. But that's a whole different story.
Yeah, because ultimately, as I keep saying, Mama Earth, she has the last fucking say. So it don't matter what they try to block out because plants and stuff are still growing. She's shutting down what she feels she wants to shut down, not what the fuck they want to do. It's what she wants to do, because that radiation or that heat is coming from up under the ground too. So it's a two-way street. It's above us in the atmosphere and then below the ground surface. And, you know, those of us that garden, y'all know what I'm talking about. There is the deeper you dig, there is a constant temperature that Mother Earth keeps. I think it's like 58, not really, like in the 60, 63 degrees and some change, all of that. So there's only certain parts of her that she is quarantining, because, like Brother Sean and I told you, we saw plants and shit blooming out of season, you know, where it was winter, and I saw bushes blooming and everything, okay, because the plants are always going to tell you, you know, the seasons. You know, for example, Southerners, we always say, when the daffodils come up, you know that winter is over, okay? So the plants are always going to tell you the story, because, again, they're closer to the ground and they're going to rise up. That's why I encourage people to plant some plants that come back every year, because you can predict, you know, how the weather is going to be based on what those particular plants are going to do. Because even my rose bushes, they kicked it for a long, long time, and then when it was, I think it got fake cold in certain places, that they forced it to be cold in certain places, it kind of went dormant, but then in the winter, it was coming back up a little bit. So I know that she's changing things the way she wants to change them. So it's only going to get more intense. So, you know, I encourage everyone to do your research and watch the weather, pay attention to the plants, pay attention to the birds, pay attention to the animals, because they're going to tell you the true story from a weather perspective. So, okay.
You know, one more thing.
I'm sorry, go ahead, sis.
One more thing I like to remind folks, they put that seed vault up in Switzerland or whatever because they knew what was about to happen, that this planet was going to go.
And Switzerland at that now, the little banking, hiding your money motherfucking place. They put the seeds in Switzerland. So I want y'all to think how deep that is.
Mm-hmm.
So what's really of value? That's why I keep screaming this every week, that the things that we're placing value on in this matrix-ass system, that's not really what's valuable. I keep telling you it's the land that's valuable. And that's why I made the statement a couple of months ago, you are supposed to have your own seeds. And I think Brother Sean even put it a little more deeper. He said, you know, we're supposed to be eating the fruits and vegetables, and then when you defecate or whatever, that's also a way that was supposed to be replenishing the crops and the plants and all of that. So we were never supposed to be depending on a system to feed us. So that's something for you all to really, really think about. If they literally have a seed vault, and that one in Switzerland, that ain't the only vault they have. That is not the only seed vault they have. You're supposed to have a seed vault of your own. So, you know, tips to people, get you some seeds, even if you don't have a lot of change. Dollar General sells seeds, 4 packs for $1. They work just the same. I know I didn't test them. I didn't planted the expensive, the mid, and the cheap. You still going to get crops out of it. Okay? The other thing is, especially those of you that buy organic food, and organic food, the seeds will regrow. So when you buy those organic bell peppers, red peppers, and all of that, you put some seeds aside. They will regrow. I've done it. Okay, so these are the things that we are supposed to be placing our value in, not that fiat. Because they don't give a damn about that fiat. They program the world to give a damn about it. The value is in the land. It always has been. So, but very, very good point, sis, about that that seed vault.
You can only imagine what type of seeds from what type of fruits and vegetables that we were never told about in our lifetime.
I totally agree. I agree. But I think that stuff's going to start resurfacing, and what's not supposed to be here is, going to get taken out as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I want South free.
Just from that aspect alone, you know that they've been holding back a cure to everything.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because we got a cure for everything.
Exactly. And the killing part about it, we didn't need a cure for nothing because there was no sickness until the frequency was lower.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because didn't they say even in the book that we're reading on the Giants, no, it wasn't the book, it was a video that I played where the one man was reading and saying how big the fruit was, mm-hmm. and how many regular folks it took to just bring a thing of grapes. So mm-hmm. Now here's my thing. What was that movie Avatar trying to show us? What was it really trying to show us? Mm-hmm. So, these are things that, are starting to be revealed, and we just need to be prepared for the shift from a mental perspective. You need to be prepared. So, all righty, very, very good points. Okay, so let me find my notes on these damn folks. I'm trying to get to these presidents, the first melanated presidents, Okay, now, oddly enough, I just still find it laughable because when we, Fox News, who's the name of dude that they fired for doing a segment on the first, when he did a segment on
Glenn
Obama
Beck.
was the first. Yeah, Glenn Beck's crying ass. You can go on YouTube and you can find this. And that was the first time that I know of on regular media television that it was admitted that the first presidents of the United States were melanated men. Okay? But when I went to pull their names to do this research, I just laughed because they still showing the shit as white men. Okay? But it is what it is. So, we're going to start off with now I got the flip-flop. I should have put the name.
John.
Now, this is interesting. He wasn't the first. He wasn't the first. Peyton Randolph, out of Virginia, September 5th, 1774. It was real short. It was real short, but I'm naming everybody.
But Hanson was the one with the presidential seal.
Right.
And
but I'm still naming everybody. I got 8 folks I'm going through this list on. Because these other people were, they resigned. You had one that was an interim.
For 2 years.
2, 3. 3 resigned. One was the interim. So, we're just going to go through the list. So, we'll get through it. So, Peyton Randolph, Virginia, out of Virginia, September 5th, 1774 to October 22nd, 1774. So, he was only in there 1 month, 17 days. He resigned. Now, let's get to that Randolph surname. And I got to scroll all the way back up. Damn, that's my bad, y'all. Okay, the Randolph surname, original origins, English, Scottish. The saga of the Randolph family name began among the people of an ancient Scottish tribe called the Picts. The Randolph name is derived from the personal name Randolph, which contains elements that translate to shield and wolf. Randolph is a patronymic name. I should have looked that up, and that's my bad. What the hell does that mean? Okay, so that patronymy is Old English, were formed by adding a variety of suffixes to personal names, which changed over time and from place to place. Okay, so I guess in other words, it was a blended name, probably from somebody's first and last name. Okay, so let me go back. All right, so it says many of those surnames that patronymic surnames were formed by adopting the given name of an ancestor of the bearer, while others came from popular religious names and from the names of secular heroes. The surname Randolph was first found in Moray, where they held a family seat from early times, and their first records appeared on the early census rolls taken by the early kings of Britain to determine the rate of their taxation of their subjects. Okay, so again, that's your Randolph name. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Henry Middleton. He was acting out of South Carolina. So he picked up from Randolph October 27, 1774 to, damn y'all, if this ain't some melanated stuff, you said you ain't going to take and tell me that this ain't some melanated shit right here. Dude, Henry Middleton, acting October 22nd, 1774 to October 26th, 1774. 4 days.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. Now you can tell me, you can't convince me that this ain't some shit. That jumped down with us.
Bro was like, hold up, I gotta do what? Y'all talking about what? No, fuck, I quit.
With that bull, exactly. That's what happened. You would get the F out of my face with this bull. Yes. So, that Middleton name is, now I can't make this shit up. Oh, and I apologize. Let me go back. That Randolph name, they arrived over here through their ancestor, Peyton Millward Randolph. I apologize. Millward Randolph arrived in Virginia in 1621. Okay, so just put that in context. Who was Peyton Randolph representing? Virginia. So hopefully this stuff is making sense to you all. All right, so that's Randolph. So let's go to Middleton, dude that was only up in there for 4 days. His ancestor, Anthony Middleton, he came through Virginia in 1623. Middleton is a name of ancient Anglo-Saxon origin and comes from the family once having lived in one of the many places called Middleton throughout England. There are several dozen places, larger or smaller, scattered up and down England of this name. The surname Middleton belongs to a large category of Anglo-Saxon habitation names, which are derived from pre-existing names for towns, villages, parishes, or farmsteads. Let me see. Try to see if anything, how far back it goes. That name go back far, y'all. So it was saying that somebody named Robert de Middleton, who was listed in 1166 in Oxfordshire. What else? And again, they showed up on the damn tax rolls in 1273. Okay, so hopefully you all are getting and entering understanding how far back the system of taxation and all of that crap goes as well.
They said that they took the name from pre-existing places.
Yes. Oh, that's deep.
So,
I know where you're going, but you go with it.
So, who was in them places before they decided to assume their identity?
Yep, before they decided to assume their identity. That's a damn good point.
A lot of our people familiar with the name Middleton. Many of our people smoke black and mild.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I didn't know all about that. But I know some Middletons. But, yeah.
That's the Middleton Company, Middleton Tobacco Company.
Oh, stop. Whoa, that shit is deep.
So,
damn.
The Moors had already been setting up shop over here as far back as the 1100s. I mean, just according to Middleton's showing up in the 1100s somewhere.
Well, when they showed up on the tax rolls, that was over on Europe. But the name didn't hit over in the Americas until 1623.
I'm just saying the fact that they was keeping tax records and all that stuff over there then lets you know who the one who brought that bullshit over here. Why they saying why they saying that the Iroquois was doing business like that? I mean, unless that's who they became.
I think that these surnames that we're going through, the men, when they came over, they married into those nations and then started using those nations to institute the same system as over in Europe.
The patriarchal system.
Exactly. Okay, so this Middleton name, they held a seat. And when I say held a seat, that means they were somewhere up in somebody's king court, so they had ties to the king and them. All right? So it would make sense why they would hold them positions over here. I'm sorry, go ahead on, sis.
But, you know, their subjects weren't Indians. Their subjects were the white Slavics that they brought over here. So they were the ones that they were brought here to do the work as indentured servants.
And I'll give you that too. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. No, it's true. It's absolutely true. Yep. And that's the part melanated people don't want to look at. Okay, but the question is, so, Caucasian folks, you have melanated surnames.
Right. They took ours.
Yeah, you have melanated surnames. Okay, so
and a lot of blood. Don't forget the blood.
Well, that's a separate story, but that too. And I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brother Sean. What was you saying?
I just want to address this Native American thing right quick.
Sure.
Now, everybody, even them, say that they came over here through the Iberian or Siberian Peninsula or whatever. The fact is, you motherfuckers came over here.
Right.
You did. You wasn't born from the land. And when you got here, it was shitting people here.
Exactly.
So, at what point did you dumb fucks honestly believe that this was your shit? I mean, I'm just sick and tired of seeing these motherfuckers all over the goddamn planet speaking every goddamn language, claiming every goddamn place. It was there.
Right.
And the shit that they ain't claiming, the Moors that say that they're the original versions of them, it's claiming everything.
Right.
You got two sets of motherfuckers saying that everybody is them and they are everybody.
Right.
When clearly, if we go back throughout history and her story, is how many tribes, and ain't near one of them called themselves what they saying that everybody is?
No. Totally agreed, and
because we're talking about Moors now, because all these people that we're talking about are from European nobility.
Yes, sir, they are. Yes.
It's their system that was brought over here.
Yep.
They the ones got all these treaties and everything with these other Europeans. They brought them over here, not only as slaves, but as concubines and apprentices.
Baby mama, side chicks, all of that. Right.
So, I mean,
I'm
just making sure I'm caught up to speed. I'm just making sure I'm up to speed.
You're right. You're right on point, Brother Sean. And I'm watching this Netflix series, and I never used to like those period European films. But now that I know the information that I know, that shit is real interesting to me. So I'm watching this one series, and it's about France and them funky asses, y'all. And I think it's one of the Louis. And I'm just watching this series, and everything makes so much more sense when you go back and watch these things with the new information that you have. And if you pay attention to the pictures that they have in the background, they'll throw in some of the melanated people every now and then as the European nobility. It'll be real quick. And then the hairstyles that the women have, I'm like, who the fuck they think they fooling? Now that I know what I know, that veil is lifted. I mean, literally, the one, Louis' wife, she stays with her shit braided and put up in the bun, and then, you know, the women wear the dresses with the butts being big, and you know, with the kings with their side chicks, and I'm like, oh my God. So absolutely, Brother Sean, absolutely. Everybody's running around pretending nowadays, switching identities, and it's all coming to a head now. It's all coming to a head. Okay. All righty. So that's that Middleton name. So now the next one we're going to go to is, all right, so after Middleton, we're assuming he quit, y'all, because he was only up in there for 4 days. Yeah, and I said four on purpose. So no one held the seat from October 26, 1774 to May 10th, 1775. That's 6 months, y'all. So some stuff must have really jumped off with blood with Middleton. So Peyton Randolph came back, you know, out of Virginia. So he came back May 10th, 1775 to May 24th, 1775. But he only stayed for 14 days. And it says resigned. Then you have John Hancock, out of Massachusetts, May 24, 1775 to October 28, 1777. He stayed 2 years, 5 months, 4 days. He wound up resigning. So let's get to John Hancock. Get to that Hancock name, rather. Okay, let me go. Where's that? All right, so that Hancock name hit the shores of Virginia, so hopefully this is making sense to y'all. As a matter of fact, they're saying Jamestown, Virginia in 1607 through Nicholas Hancock. Again, that Hancock name is Anglo-Saxon. It is tribes that once ruled Britain. It is derived from the baptismal name for the son of John, which was originally derived from Han, a popular English name derived from the Flemish Han, which translates to mean John. The suffix cox was added to the surname to indicate to make it familiar, basically. How far back does it go? So it's saying that they found it on that particular surname was found first out of Yorkshire in 1273, and then they showed up on Yorkshire poll tax 1379. Okay, so again, I just want to throw out there that they have always kept meticulous records. Always kept meticulous records because to collect them taxes. So now help me to understand again, if millions of African slaves were brought over here, which had to have taxes paid on because it was property, right? Where the fuck is the record? You can't pull no ship up into no port without a manifest. The items that's on that ship. All right. So that's the Hancock name. Now, John Hanson, ideally enough, when I pulled this, John Hanson wasn't listed on there. He's not listed on here as a prez. Yeah. So I just pulled the Hansen information of landing in Massachusetts in 1633. So that Hansen name is English, but this makes sense, y'all. And maybe Hansen was the first. They just don't want to put no dates on where blood fit in, because this is where that Hansen name origins go. Danish, English, they're saying the origin is English, but it also Danish, German, Irish, Norwegian, Russian. It's an ancient Anglo-Saxon name, derived from the baptismal name for the sons of Hans or Hans. Let me see. What else? Okay, see, that name goes all the way back because they held a family seat from very ancient times. Some say well before the Norman conquest and the arrival of Duke William at Hastings in 1066. So that's that Hansen name. So, Sister Brother Sean, if y'all want to look up and see if you can find when he supposedly held the presidential seat, he may have been the first one before 1774. Just the list that I pulled, he didn't come up. And I'm like, wait a minute, why didn't he come up? But I forgot to go back and pull his dates. So I'm going to, you got it?
Say, this Hansen they're talking about is in the 1800s. But they got the picture of the brother.
They do? Okay, see, when I pulled it up, they had, and I could tell they had painted over the picture. I'm like, this is piss poor. But anyhow, but they're saying
Hansen, Liberia.
No,
they say he died. They say he died in 1860. Was African American associated with the American Colonization Society, which sought to relocate Black Americans to Liberia. In Liberia, he served as senator from Grand Bassa County. He was born into slavery, but he purchased his freedom and immigrated from Baltimore to Liberia at age 36. In Liberia, he joined the growing mercantile class. He was elected to the Colonial Council in December 1840 and was elected as one of the two senators from Grand Bassa County in the first election after the country's independence. He also served as commissioner in the same county for several years, furnishing a home for the storage of arms and ammunition. But then it also say down here, African American John Hanson was the first U.S. president who served as president of the Continental Congress during the American Revolution.
Okay, so it did say during the American Revolution, but they don't give no date.
Yeah, that was just before Washington was appointed the president. So Washington was during the American Revolution, and it all has to do with the seal of the United States. That's when they started giving him, the presidents, the credit as being the first, but Hansen had that seal too. I had a book, but I can't think of it right now.
But I'm like, I just need the dates on dudes, though.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the dates that he set in that speech, because so far the earliest is 1774, and we could see that people was quitting, giving the middle finger, and all of that. So it would be interesting.
I think that 1774, if I remember correctly, was when they start calling us African Americans, and took away our Indian status and calling us Negroes and Coloreds in 1774.
Yeah, because the plan was to get our asses over to Africa.
Right, exactly.
And so, again, did you say Hansen was heading up the little Liberia thing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay then. Okay,
well, that's
so now
1800 though, right?
Don't matter though. Yeah, but I get your point. It's still 1800s, but it was still happening, and it was still headed by melanated people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I just want to make sense. I just want to make sure I'm not lying on people.
That's when they start changing the census and start changing us to Indians that have no sense. African, anybody born of African descent in the Constitution could not ever be a citizen in the United States. And that Indians were renegades and all that kind of stuff, riffraff. That's when they start putting all that on the Constitution.
Well, right, because it's land theft.
Yeah, it is.
Bottom line. So my thing to, folks that's running around, oh, no, our people set up, the Constitution, blah, this, that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so then why was they trying to send people back to Africa? If the system was set up on our behalf, why were they trying to send folks back, not back to Africa, to Africa?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, so next person, Charles Thompson. He was just acting out of Pennsylvania. October 29th. Oh, y'all, I can't make this shit up. October 29th, 1777 to November 1st, 1777. 2 days. All right. We're going to go into that Thompson surname. So it must have been some drama, big-time drama, y'all. All right, now this is the interesting thing because they're linking that Thompson surname back to on who came over here, Edward Thompson, aboard the Mayflower, came in at Cape Cod Harbor in 1620, but he died on that particular journey. But it was another Thompson who settled in Virginia in 1626. So that ancestor of Thompson's family, let's say, that name Thompson. Oh, now this is interesting, you all. This is really, or Thompson, this is really interesting. That name is derived from ancient personal name Thomas, meaning twin. I never knew that Thomas meant twin.
Mm.
That's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's see. That name goes back. They're tracing it back in the regions of Scotland. Trying to get you all some dates. They found it as early as the 1300s. Yeah, so that Thompson name is once again linked to nobility. They were in the court because one of the Thompsons was known as a lord. Okay? All right. So let's go to the next one. We almost through it, y'all. Henry Lawrence, out of South Carolina, November 1st, 1777 through December 9th, 1778, 1 year, 1 month. So let me go to that Lawrence name. All right, so they're saying that Lawrence name first hit New Netherlands, 1658. So remember, wasn't New York called New Netherlands back up in the day?
Mm-hmm.
During the Dutch little time. Okay. And then another Lauren came over, Maria. She came over when it was renamed New York by then in 1663. Now, that Lauren's name originally is French, but it also has German origins. So it says the surname Lawrence come from an old French given name Lawrence or Laurentius in Latin. Versions of this given name were popular throughout Christian Europe due to a saint. Oh, yeah. Now that they say that, I remember that saint. So named who was martyred in Rome in the 3rd century A.D. Yeah, there's a picture of that saint, a melanated saint. So that would make sense. Okay, very, very interesting. Okay, so that's that Lauren's name. Now we have John J. out of New York, December 10th, 1778 through September 28th, 1779, sat in the seat 9 months and 18 days. Did I find that J name now? I don't think I did, my bad. Okay, so it's saying that the J name hit the U.S. shores in 1635. But that name goes back pretty far. It goes all the way back to the Norman conquest of 1066. But the name derives from a family place of residency prior to the Norman conquest. So that J name may be indigenous to that particular area. Okay, so they probably assumed the name of either they are the indigenous people that were there before the Romans or the Hebrews came, or they just took on that surname. Okay, what else about this name? Okay, that's it on that name. Okay, so the last one is Samuel Huntington out of Connecticut. September 28, 1779, March 2nd, 1781, 1 year, 5 months, 4 days. Okay. So the Huntington name says that they hit, actually, husband and wife came over together, or I don't know, Christopher and Margaret in Boston in 1633 with their sons Simon and Thomas. Okay, so Simon and Thomas, okay. So that name is Anglo-Saxon, one of the tribes of Britain. It is the product of when the family lived in the settlement of Huntingdon, so D-O-N, in the country of Huntingdonshire, or in one of the various places called Huntington in Herefordshire and the North Riding of Yorkshire. Okay, let's see how far back they go. Oh, wow. Okay, so they're claiming a castle was built in that Huntingdon area in 917 by Edward the Elder and enlarged by David of Earl and King of Scotland. Okay, so that's the information, family, on the first founding melanated presidents of the United States Corporation of America?
It says,
okay.
According to this, John Hanson was the first president under the Articles of Confederation.
That makes sense.
Signing took place in 1781. So
he was the ninth then.
Right.
He was the ninth official one then. Yep.
Right. Under the Articles of Confederation, the president could only go a 1-year term.
That makes sense.
In the 3-year period. They say Hanson established the Great Seal of the United States. Hanson, as president, ordered all foreign troops off American soil. Lastly, he declared that the fourth Thursday of November was to be Thanksgiving.
Oh, dude, set that up. What?
Mm-hmm. 6 other presidents were elected after him. Elias Boudinot, 1783. Thomas Mifflin, 1784. Richard Henry Lee, 1785. Nathan Gorman, 1786. Arthur St. Clair, 1787. Cyrus Griffin, 1788. All prior to Washington taking office. So that's 14.
I'm sorry. 14.
So that's 14.
So I'll do the other one.
I'm good. I was just saying that. So that's actually 14 before Washington.
14. Okay. So I'll do they asses next week then. Y'all, that's deep. That's real deep. So the story that they're telling, it is far from not the truth. It's just not. And, melanated people need to just face the reality. It is what it is. This shit was set up by the black nobility out of Europe. And melanated...
They got to do that their own guys by their pets.
Exactly. They spanked that ass and they spanked it good. But still, we know that behind the scenes, you do have black nobility still running it. But a lot of these other surnames, family lineage, suffered the consequences behind that switch out. So I'm sorry, go ahead, sis.
But see, we still have to remember that it was only the 13 colonies that they were head of for their different kings. And the rest of the country was still Indian territory.
Agreed. 1,000% agreed. So I asked again, who was the motherfucking quote government set up for?
Mm-hmm.
What's this shit about? I know you know where I'm going with this, Brother Shine.
Mm-hmm.
Help me with it, with the Philadelphia stuff. You know what I'm trying to say. Shit, can't get the word.
Where the first government was set up at in Philadelphia.
Right.
So they said. And
right.
That was Moors.
Liberty Bell. Mississippi River. Mm-hmm.
But I asked again, who was that supposed to be benefiting? De jure, that's what I'm trying to say. De jure.
The de jure government, not the de facto government.
Right.
And go ahead, sis.
So the Dutch brought how many Moors on that ship? was it 200, 2,000, whatever? And we go back to that article that the last known slave just died. What did you say that long time ago? About 200 or 2,000 melanated people were brought over on that Dutch ship as slaves. Remember that? You wrote that? Read that article?
I think it was 200 because I don't think they had no ships that have been.
And we just all happened. We just all happened to come from all them 200, just that little 200. And it was 112 million of us here before they brought their assets here. And so we got, you know what I'm saying? And whoever keeps sprouting this idea that we're lineage from those 200, they are crazy.
Exactly. I picked up a collector item book called The History of America, and it was written in 1865. And so I got through the first chapter because out the gate the first chapter was on the indigenous people. Mm-hmm. And so it's written by Caucasian. Huh?
Give us some.
Well, I didn't like the way it was written. I'll have it for you all. Next week I'll pull out some passages because he was mixing, like, you know, the indigenous people with the Mongoloid mix. But he said of the indigenous people that those people have been in the Americas for many, many years. We don't even know how long. And they are a very ancient people. They were always here. Okay? But then he turned around and mixed some other stuff in there that I don't know if they made him change it or if that's what he was being fed. But I'll go back and pull out some of the passages. Because like I said, I just got through the first chapter, and I'll have to go back through the table of contents because I think that's the only chapter he did on the indigenous people. Okay, but the fact that he said that the indigenous people are a very ancient people, and I'll have to pull the exact wording because I think he even said they are one of the first people.
Mm-hmm.
And he said they did not come over on no Bering Strait. Mm-hmm. That's what the man said. So I'm a have the excerpt ready for you all next week. And I mean, it is literally, it's not no motherfucking reprint. It's literally the original book from 1865. So I'll pull those excerpts and have it for the family next week. So yeah, all of these lies floating around from both sides, on the Caucasian side and on the melanated people side, y'all might as well give it on up. And if you don't know, you better start researching your lineage and know. Because it is not what you've been told at all. All right. So we're going to move on. We're going to get into the actual series tonight, The Lands of the Giants Part 4. And I do want to go over, because that video we played last week, you know, the one man talked about Enoch. And, you know, Enoch being a giant. All right, so first of all, this kind of blew me back because I had to go pull Enoch's genealogy, because we covered this when we did the Lost Book of Enki, but I want to just, you know, put this information out here for the family so you can start making these connections on who is who. And you can see how this doctrine that we've been given with who are the Hebrews, who are the Israelites, not what you've been told. Okay? Because my thing is, if the giants were the evil ones, then, and the Hebrews were the innocent ones, well, Noah was a giant. Enoch was a giant. Noah's son, two of his sons, they listed as giants. Oh, really? Okay. So these are the things that we need to start opening our eyes to, what was taught to us and why it was taught to us that way. This switching identities, that shit just didn't start with, the takeover of the Americas. It's been going on a long time, ancient time. And it's for these entities that do not belong here to mix in with the bloodline of the indigenous people of Mother Earth, to me, for hiding purposes. Okay? Try to stay here longer and all of that bullshit. But anyhow, okay, so Enoch. Yeah, this broke my heart now when I found this out. But Enoch, they're saying today that the name Idris is derived from Enoch. You know that shit just crushed me. Everybody know I love Idris Elba, who's out of the UK. I'm like, God damn it, that was probably my ancestors fucking around with them European men. Letting them take our shit. So the matriarch side in the Americas has to take accountability too for the marrying in of the foreigners, the Europeans, into the bloodline. Okay? So now we're coming full circle where most, if not all, of the indigenous people who have been reclassified as African America, you have both running through your veins. You have the indigenous line, and then you have over in Europe. So that's why when we talk about you breaking the curses in your generation, all of that is a part of it. And it all goes back to the ancient times with these giants, or who they're calling the fallen angels, and all of that. Okay? So that's how we're at the point now. And that's why this is the age of knowing. Because you're getting this information, and a lot of this information, it should be coming from you, not so specific as we give here on the show, on the research that we're doing, but a lot of it should be coming to you from a spiritual perspective, because you are here to clean up your bloodline, to break the curses, because Mother is shifting to higher dimensions. And in order for, number one, you to move on to the higher realm and to take that curse off of bloodline, you are the one to stimulate, you break that curse. And then from that point on, it's truly up to individuals in your bloodline whether or not they want to move on to a higher dimension, or they simply not ready. They got to repeat a few more cycles to get their shit together, or they got some more karmic debt they need to clear up, etc. All right, so yeah, that's what the name Enoch means today, Idris. Straight crush, y'all. I ain't gonna lie, sister's motherfucking feelings is hurt, but it is what it is, okay? So they're saying that that name can be tied back to Hebrew. I told y'all, well, y'all should know that. Arabic, Estonian, and then German. Okay, so get ready, y'all. Let me take a motherfucking swig of this water. It's going to be some hurt feelings tonight. Those that's really into the whole Hebrew and Israelite stuff. And maybe not. Okay, so Enoch, Metatron, and if you read the book of Enoch, you will know why they are associating Enoch with Metatron. Anunnaki. I'll pause and take another swig. What is Anunnaki, y'all?
Anunnaki.
Exactly.
Anunnaki. And Enoch is Metatron, they say.
Yes, that's exactly what they say. Enoch is Metatron. Now, what is Metatron known for? What is that particular? Right, but
that's
specifically what?
He has an ark, the controller of the
cube.
Yeah, he
Don't
has
he have a cube?
Mm-hmm.
It has the cube.
The Metatron cube.
The Metatron cube. Okay, so the Metatron cube is what? Isn't it like one of the sacred geometry symbols that can also be associated with the flower of life?
The whole source. The whole source.
Exactly.
Yeah. He's supposed to be returning when it's the end, supposedly, and he has the power of the cube or the ark. And there's going to be a war of the gods.
Okay, so that's why, another reason why I'm encouraging you all to check out that brother's video that I mentioned earlier, talking about the plasma as well. Okay, so we're talking about some beings entering overstood the very metaphysics makeup of the universe. Okay, because Enoch is not the cube. They may have associated him with the name Metatron cube, but he is not the cube. More than likely, he was given the sacred geometry secrets of how this particular universe is made up. And if you read that book of Enoch, you'll see what I'm talking about, because he gives a lot of details. Enoch, I'm speaking on Enoch, that was given to him by these beings. Okay? Because he literally talks about him going above Earth's atmosphere and looking down and seeing the structure of the earth. And he talks about a lot of other sacred geometry. And the book the book of Enoch talks about these different beings visiting him to give him this information. They even gave him the future of his particular bloodline. I'm sorry, go ahead, sis.
But if you say that Enoch was a giant, did he have to be on any ship to go look? He could just stand up, really, and just go look.
That's true.
This place is flat, so
that's true. He could have been up there looking down and seeing the structure as well. Absolutely.
But he probably wasn't a Titan. He's after the Titan.
True.
So he's a smaller giant.
Probably.
Right.
Because but I wasn't here last week, but I did. At one point, I had the royals, the melanated royals of of Europe, had to build their castles on high crevices, way, way up. I saw pictures of them because of the giants.
Right. Okay. But you weren't here last week when we talked about them warring with the giants too.
Yeah, they were warring with the giants.
So meaning, but they had infringed on the giants' motherfucking territory.
That's what you say.
The Hebrews did. Yeah. Now that's not what I say. That's what their book says.
Yeah, that's what their books say, but Noah was part of the Hebrews, according to... they got the story so convoluted, and Enoch was a part of that bloodline of the Hebrews.
It's really not diluted if you look at the various different sources. And see, that's the danger in how our folks got up under the spell because we were only using one source.
Right.
Because if you look at the other sources, it ain't hide who the hell Noah and them was. It says exactly who they were, that they were giants. And how Noah is the great grandson of Enoch, Anunnakki.
Right. And Moses was a giant and a giant killer.
Who? Sorry.
Yep.
Moses.
Right.
Because him and Og had got into it. Og was finna throw that motherfucking mountain.
But see, how can they be of the same bloodline of Moses, and Moses was the giant killer, and Enoch and all those kind of people were supposedly of that same blood. See, that's splitting that.
But see, here's the thing. No. We are using the term giants, thinking it was the same bloodline, and it wasn't.
It wasn't. It couldn't have been, because they're different bloodlines.
Right, because I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brother Sean.
If you think about it, go back to Clash of the Titans.
Right.
All of them was family, and who turned on them? Zeus' son. He wanted to be with the people. He preferred to be a demigod than a full god.
Started with a C or something. Yeah, Zeus' son.
So, if you think about it, the whole thing that went on over there with the Moors. Like, even when all of Europe, France, all of that was melanated, all the King James people would set up shop there in them places. All of these are people that came over here to the Americas. We was fighting the French, we was fighting Spanish, we was fighting every damn body. And they all came from that one bloodline.
So were they giants? Yeah, sound like it.
Yep.
Well, and I guess my thing is, I say it's different bloodlines because even in that, we know that they fought among their own bloodline. Hands down, they definitely did. Not going to dispute that. But we know that they were saying that term Raphael just meant giant, but there were, different types. So meaning different bloodlines.
Right.
And so what made me exactly. So that's the point I'm trying to make, because it was some indigenous giants to those lands that the Hebrews went over there fucking with them.
Mhm.
Okay. So All right, so we said Enoch known as Metatron, known as Enoch, with the name Idris. That still fucks me up, y'all. And so it says son of Jared, and then it has Tiberian, and Tiberian is Hanak. And in Arabic, crush my motherfucking heart again, y'all. Enoch is known as the name Idris. Okay, so his immediate family, Jared, Barika, where's his sons? Okay, so his particular people are Etna. Y'all not going to believe me, but there's a Baraki.
Like Barack Obama?
B-A-R-A-K, but it's an I, and then apostrophe I-L. So, I'm sorry, his wife was Etna. Enoch had a son named Baraki. Or Barak-El. Barak-El. So, like Barak-El, E-L. Okay. Methuselah. I know y'all know Methuselah, right?
The ancient one.
Right. Regum, Ella, I can't pronounce this, y'all. Elam Leach, Melka, and then they didn't get all of his children because it just says other daughters, other sons. Damn, y'all, that name Elisha, that was originally an Enoch people. That's what he named one of his sons, Elisha. Mama was the name of a daughter. Now I'm going to pause. Mama.
How many children in all?
Let's see. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then it says other daughters. Let me see if they break that down. Yeah, it still don't give me those other daughters. So those may have been by some side chicks. So the other daughters, other sons may have been by some side chicks. So who they putting on record is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then a son, Alakim ben Enoch.
So Enki was a giant too, because that's what, what's his name? Mutra? Kudomutra? That's what he said.
Out of South Africa?
Mm-hmm. You remember that foot? I don't know if you saw that foot. It was like 8 feet.
I did.
Yeah.
That footprint, yes.
And it was a woman.
So, that was a foot. Now, that part I didn't remember. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Enoch was a giant, y'all. Now, Lamech is Noah's father.
Right.
And Methuselah is Noah's grandfather. Okay, so hopefully y'all getting the connection. Methuselah is Enoch's son. So hopefully it's making sense why Noah is listed as a giant.
And they lived 900 years. Remember how long the Anunnaki lived? Yep.
So I, just documented. We already went over that. Enoch means Anak or Anunnaki. I mean, the shit couldn't be more motherfucking clearer than that. It was right in our face all along.
I figured.
Right in our face. So these are that particular Anunnaki bloodline. Okay, so these are probably Enki and Enlil now. I don't know which side, you know what I'm saying? I don't know who's Enoch, whose lineage one of them tied back up to. Okay? So now I'm going to be the shit starter. Now, who was infringing on who? So meaning, if the Hebrew now was always going around conquering indigenous people's land, I'm just going to pause on that for a minute. To me, that puts a different light on it.
Giants versus giants?
So I'm going to put it this way. I'm indigenous to a particular place, let's say the Americas. My lineage has lived here millions and millions of years. And you come over to my territory fucking with me, gonna tell me what your God told you. I ask again, who's infringing on who? And where did this bloodline really come from? Now, I told you I'm going to get raw with you tonight. Where did it really come from?
Out of space.
I'll just throw that out there.
I mean, it is really interesting that it's totally overlooked somehow.
Yeah.
But they want to talk about everything that happened to them. Oh, we've been enslaved for 400 years.
Right.
And,
Me.
Jesus, he died for my sins. And Islam is going crazy. They just blowing folks up. And what they say on the news recently? I mean, as far as with all this church distraction and this, that, and the other, that it's a worldwide assault on Christianity, but they forget about the Christian Crusades.
Right.
I mean,
right.
It's just, I mean, you're God's chosen people. And he chose his people to go around taking everybody else's shit in his name.
Exactly.
And you're proud of this.
Because,
you speak more on your suffering than you do your conquest.
Exactly. The conquest that you have caused around the planet. Because isn't the fallen angel story, now just correct me because y'all know I'm not that deep in the Bible, but I know the motherfucking popular story. So isn't the story that it was a war in heaven?
Mm-hmm.
And that the fallen angels fell to the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And they came in the daughters of men. Just let me know if I'm messing up that story.
And created the giants.
Yeah. So now I'm going to ask again. Who is Enoch and Noah in them? Because Enoch is clearly Enoch. They're giants.
Yeah, but we can't forget the EGGs that came too. So that's where.
About the EGGs though. I'm on Enoch them ass.
Yeah,
because the EGG's name ain't tied directly to Enoch. Enoch's name means Enoch. I'm on him.
Yeah.
We do know that Gigi came here. We know all that, but I'm on Enoch right now. That's who I'm on.
Well, I was just saying they obviously both sides were giants. That's what I'm hearing, but I don't know.
Who's both sides were giants?
The Gigis and the Anunnaki. So, and then they came here, all of them, and as you say, interfered with the indigenous lands.
Right. Absolutely. So, just something to think of. Hopefully, folks will start looking at this stuff in a different light. And I think, Brother Sean, you was the one that sent me the video about that parish church burning, and how it showed the structure of that middle section that burned. What was the shape of that structure of that middle section?
The cube.
Okay then. Okay.
Had the scaffolding in place for it and everything. I mean, if you really look at it, it was some type of ritual. Because if you look at the footage of the firefighters, they took their time getting there. And it didn't look like dude was really trying to spray water on the fire.
Right.
So I missed that part of that whole story. I figured it was a ritual for the ending of them. When I was looking at it, because that's one of their great monuments, right? They're set monuments.
What, Raggedy Terrace? Yeah.
Yeah, and so when I heard the story, I said, so they going to burn them down now, huh? Their day is done. That's what I picked up when I heard the thing had Notre Dame, whatever they call that thing, had burnt down.
But we know all of those buildings like that, they didn't build under them. They was already there.
Exactly. And so they're using it and desecrating it, so they burn it down.
But you can't burn the limestone. All that's still there.
Yep.
And they had took all of their stuff out of there, anything of any importance out of there.
Yeah, they did.
So what did they actually burn?
Structure.
And why? Because the stone's still standing there.
Semblance of change of power? That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, and I just found it interesting that, that's in the shape of a cube, and I'm willing to bet that was probably the inner sanctuary of the temple. I don't know that for sure. I would have to do some research on it. Just like in Islam, what do they walk around? What's the most holiest, the holiest? Exactly. And so Enoch also means what? Metatron? Cube?
And that stone supposedly came out from outer space. It fell there. And then you get all that, what you call that, black goo or something?
Yeah, that's what they say. That's what they say. So again, he who controls the cube
controls the world.
Exactly. You control the frequency.
Yeah.
Because the
and they're burning
cube
it down.
Is equal to the cube is equal to the sacred geometry of the flower of life.
The Fibonacci too.
Exactly. That's the flower of life.
Yeah.
So he who controls the cube controls the frequency.
So you think that it's symbolic of their frequency being destroyed, and we're going to move to another frequency?
It very well could be, sis. It very well could be. But I just thought that was interesting, that particular middle section. Because literally the picture that the man showed, the aerial shot, was after, it was the remnants of the burntness. And you had that cube sitting in the middle. Am I lying or not, Sean? Of the other structures that connected to the cube.
Considering it was a plasma fire, I wonder if they were trying to open up a portal, and those spaceships that were there closed it.
Probably could have been.
It was a plasma fire, you say?
You can see the white smoke coming from it. You see the color of the fire.
Yeah,
I saw the white smoke. Okay. All right.
Yep.
I was really curious about. I knew it was a symbol. I mean, there was no doubt in my mind that was the symbol of their destruction. You know, it's just like slap you in the face if you want to look at it.
Or they call themselves pulling off a ritual to open up a portal, and that shit backfired. So that's why, once again, I'm encouraging you all to go look at Brother Kali's video when they blew that picture up of the sun, and they up there talking about it's a motherfucking sun flare, and you clearly see a spiritual war going on.
Yeah, they've been playing it their way.
You clearly see it. Yeah, you clearly see folks trying to get through a portal and other folks tearing that ass up. Like,
matter of fact, there's a fueling station, too. The sun is. And Dr. Valentine was talking about the sun and what it's doing, and what, you know, the portal and all that kind of stuff, and the hydrogen and us related to that, because what we're made out of. He went through a whole lot of on that.
Exactly. And he did a lot of good work on that. I know Dr. Blair for decades has been schooling the people on what the sun really is.
Right.
He's been saying it's not what they're telling you that it is. So I don't want to blow the thunder of that one particular brother's video, but I highly encourage you to look at it, because hopefully you're going to look at things in a different light. All right. So let's get back to Bashan and its giant cities. And if you're following along with us, we're reading out of the book Bashan and its giant cities. We're on page 44. No, damn, why I always do that? Because I think, well, I'll move on, because I know we went over that. Damn it, I thought I had wrote down, because it talks about, we went over there. Why did I write down that we left off on page 44? That's I documented.
Because I think we got off into the video at that point.
Oh, okay, did we stop it? Okay, because it was some, I remember going over there, but I'm just going to go back over 44. I know some of this stuff we read, but we did stop it and get into the last part of that video. You see where we left off at? Because remember the thing that blew my wig back when they talked about the Cyclops walls.
Yeah, the Cyclopean walls.
And the Temple of the Sun at who?
Baalbek.
Right. Baalbek, who's one of the that Baal name is one of the fallen angels, right?
That's the one that people were worshiping. He got in trouble for it too. They got in serious trouble for worshiping Baal.
And I think you could just pick up from where it was. Or you could,
oh, yeah, I'm saying. Okay, I'm going to start with the but. But never before had I looked onto a scene which nature and art and destruction had so combined to adorn. It was not the wild grandeur of Lebanon with beetling cliff and snow-capped peak. It was not the flat and featureless Baalbek with its cyclopean walls and unrivaled columns. It was not the blasted desolation of Palmyra. Yeah, that is Myra. Palmyra, where white ruins are thickly strewn over a white plain. Here were hills and dales, wooded slopes, and wild, secluded gleams, frowning cliffs of battlemented heights, moss-grown ruins, a group of tapering columns sprung up from dense foliage of the oaks of Bashan. So, again, he's taken back by the beauty of the greenery. Okay? So far, these lands that they have been going through, a lot of them have been, the vegetation wasn't as rich. Okay? So to me, which means a lot of wars had to be going on with some serious technology that would wipe out the growing of vegetation. Okay? So remember back in the day when, not back in the day, they show the movies now where they show these different beings and the Atlanteans and the Titans with the, what's the fork weapon, Yao? What's the name of the weapon? Yeah, the trident. Okay, shooting that laser or flame. That's plasma, Yao. Wiping shit out. I'm sorry, go ahead, sis.
I remember the Dogons talked about the place became barren because there was a war going on when they came here to hide. When Tiamat or whatever was being destroyed, and they came to hide, and somebody came looking for them. Even Dr. York talks about this.
Well, yeah, because Dr. York's stuff ties pretty closely. You can take Dr. York's tablet. I can't think of it right now. It'll come to me. You can take his tablets and line it right up with Zechariah Stinch's work, who he said he took his stuff from the Sumerian tablet, except York goes into detail on like the spaceships and stuff. He goes into serious detail on that. Yes. Okay, so hitherto I had been struck with the nakedness of Syrian ruins. They are half buried in dust. Now, I ain't making this up, y'all. This is what Blood is saying. His observation in 1865. They are half buried in dust, or they are strewn over mounds of rubbish, or they lie prostrate on the bare, gravelly soil. And though the shafts are graceful, the capitals chase the fretwork of frieze and cornice rich. Yet as pictures, they contrast poorly with the ivy mantled abbeys of England and the nature cloth castles of the Rhine. Okay, so he's basically describing like a desolate place with gravel, dust, sand. So to me, that meant it was disintegrating. And it had to be some pretty heavy technology.
Nukes. Remember the nukes that they talked about over there that happened in the book of Enki?
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So those nukes, to me, I believe, was some form of plasma. Okay, because that's why I'm encouraging you all to go look at that video. Because plasma is the fourth state of matter that they don't talk about. Okay, it's how you can create that fourth state of matter through light frequencies. Okay, so amid the hills of Bashan, however, the scene is changed. The fresh foliage hides defects and enhances the beauty of stately portico and massive wall, while luxuriant creepers twine round the pillars and wreath the vaults of the capitals with garlands. Okay. So the only other thing I want to point out is I find it interesting that the Hebrew lineage ties themselves back to these places, but it's like it was always war being broken out, and these particular places, had some heavy damage. So I go back to my question again. Where do this particular group of people, the Hebrews, where do they originate from? Because so far, everywhere that they go, they've been given orders to go to these different places, and war and stuff broke out, not because the people were evil, but because they were conquering people's land. So they constantly keep battling with indigenous people, and then all of a sudden they have to leave that land and go somewhere else. That doesn't sound like a people that's one with nature and with Mother Earth. Because she is plentiful. Yes, sir.
I'm just trying to remember where in the Bible it say they came from. Before Pharaoh enslaved them, and then, Moses chilled with them his whole life. And one day he just realized that, hold up, the slaves is my people for real, for real.
Right. So I'm out of here, too.
Right. But where did they come from in the first place? Where did Pharaoh find them at?
Right.
Where did Pharaoh find them at? And, okay, y'all God's chosen people, but everybody had something before y'all. Y'all just basically come on the scene as slaves.
Exactly. That's my point. Go ahead, Brother Sean.
After your God forces Pharaoh to let y'all go play in the desert for 40 years and piss your God off every way imaginable.
Right.
And then he just sends y'all on a pilgrimage across the planet to kill everybody and take everybody's shit.
Pretty much.
Some just don't sound right.
Yes, there's a disconnect somewhere. That's why I keep asking, where was their original home?
Okay, they say the Garden of Eden because Adam and Eve. But they never said they was Hebrew.
Who, Adam and Eve?
They never said they was Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, Okay. So
right.
Everybody came from Adam and Eve, but after old buddy killed his brother, God put the mark on his head and said, "Don't fuck with him."
Right.
So all them other people who was told not to fuck with him. Oh, them was the fallen angels. I got it. Them was the giants that Cain and them just all of a sudden started fucking with. Because he got kicked out the Garden of Eden, right? Mm-hmm. And the giants were indigenous in their land, Og and all them. They kicking it, being them doing giant shit before, these people and their God come along.
There's a book called Adam and Eve, the book of Adam and Eve. And in that book, I read and heard B.P. Earth, the guy, he was reading that book. And he was saying that before Adam fell, in this book, he was right up there at the top of the tree, taking off the fruit. And after he fell, he went through some caverns or under some earth or something, and when he came out, he was at the roots of the tree, and he could not see the tree anymore. So when, I don't know if it's King Drop or Amir Who,
right.
when you remember those giant trees, the fossilized trees and stuff, when Adam fell, he was no longer at the top picking the fruit from the branches. He was at the roots because he had shrunk or something. So that, in that book of Adam, showed that they were the giants, but the fall of their selves made them midgets. That's what he was reading in that book.
And so made them, what we're known as today as midgets. Okay, so do you think
human height?
Right, but Noah wasn't human height though.
Noah was the human height, but he said Noah was a giant. Did you say Noah was a giant?
Yeah, Noah was a giant. So Noah wasn't a human height.
No, he wasn't. But the Adam and Eve were giants. So somewhere along the evolution of man, when the fall, what they implied about in the book of Adam and Eve, the book of Adam and Eve, everybody was giants, and then they fell. That's what it said.
Okay, but my point being, if Adam and Eve was that tall, et cetera, and they shrunk, didn't Noah come after Adam and Eve?
Yeah, that's the problem. They got the. It's really confusing to me because I know that we do have trees that are as big as mountaintops, and they call them mountaintops nowadays. Then they have rock formations that are giants, and you can see the hands. Remember that book you read, or the guy was talking about, the science of the giants and the rings of the trees? We know that stuff existed. And now we're just like the trees now, they say it's like bushes, because they're not any way, shape, or form like the original trees. Not at all.
Right. So what I'm saying is just based on just logic.
Maybe
if
that's
Adam and Eve shrunk, but Noah was a giant, then
maybe it was
Adam and Eve.
Maybe it was a gradual frequency change that changed the whole planet.
I'm not disputing that, but I have to go back to Adam and Eve. If you use them as the source of the lineage, they had shrunk. Noah was considered a giant.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, you know, as we go through this flip, it wasn't all at once.
But sis, if Noah, so where I'm going with that, it's only two possibilities. It ain't no mystery. We have to look at use some logic in this, because either Adam and Eve that they speak of was not, there are different species or different bloodlines than Noah and them, or that particular story,
it's fake.
Something off about that. Exactly. It's either one or two things. Because Adam and Eve, they claim is first, but Noah is a giant, and his great-grandfather is documented as being a giant. So therefore, and Noah had sons that were giants, and so we had to know that Noah's father was a giant.
We had
and
to.
if Noah was a giant, don't it make sense how he fucking survived the flood? Or unless I'm missing something. Maybe I'm just missing something.
Well, Cain was a giant too. All of them were. Right. So, you know, Cain's people, they got away. But somewhere we got some switches going on. They're either fabricating the whole story to make it plausible, or it is totally off the charts, off the hook, so to speak.
Or is Noah Og? Because then they turn around and say Og was the only giant to survive the flood.
Cain's people survived.
They said Og survived the flood.
Excuse me.
He was the last of his people.
Cain's people survived too.
So Og was, I guess Og was probably more or less a titan than just a regular giant.
Yeah, I guess that's what the other dude from the video was saying, that Og was really, really big. And I'm going to give him that because he had picked up the motherfucking mountain and was going to throw it at their asses.
Well, Quetzalcoatl was a giant, and he was around with Moses and the Aztecs.
So
that's way down the line.
Right.
What
so,
I'm getting to, though, is...
I'm sorry, go ahead, Brother Sean.
Okay. Adam and Eve was in the Garden of Eden.
Right. Supposedly and allegedly. I got to throw that in there now, y'all. But go ahead.
You got to do that one.
Right.
And they got kicked out.
Right.
And it was other people already chilling when they came up at the Garden of Eden. So, I mean, everybody had a home but them. And according to that story, their lineage, it's the motherfuckers causing all the problems today.
Well, they keep roaming lands, right? Don't they keep going to different lands? And that would make sense if you, out the gate, really didn't have a land that your folks derived from.
But Abraham, he did buy land. But he was from Ur, the Chaldeans, over there near Syria. And they do have giants they have unearthed over there.
Yeah, because that's what dude is talking about in this particular book. Remember, he's like in the Syria, Lebanon, them area. So
yeah, that's where his original land was. Before he left there and went up, I would imagine north, which is south, because the Nile runs backwards. So he went up into the Pharaoh's land, where the pharaohs were giants too.
Right, but we know that the pharaohs, aren't they tied directly to the Anunnaki?
No, tied to the EGGs. Some of them were Anunnaki and some were EGGs. Remember that Marduk's boys married the EGGs girls?
Right, because remember they were like, they didn't want dude to marry her, right?
Yeah, they didn't want.
They didn't want the mixing of that GG bloodline with the Anunnaki bloodline.
Marduk's wife was a human.
Right.
And she died.
Now, okay, now you brought that because you must be reading my frequency because I'm finna shit start again. So, if the fallen angels, was it not 200 of they asses?
2 or 3.
Yeah, I think it was 200.
It was 200 of the first group. It was a third of heaven fell. So it was a small heaven there.
Right. Okay. So we'll even go with the 300 number. If the 300 fell and they came into the daughters of men,
there was some big.
I'm just gonna pause there.
Yeah, they would. I don't know how they did that. I can't even explain that genetics. If I tried every day, all day, I have never figured that out. Scientifically, that's impossible.
Exactly. So, or does that mean that the women
were big
at the time? Exactly. That's where I'm going with that, sis.
Well, Eve.
So you see how that, just thinking that term giant across the board is evil. No, we're talking different bloodlines, folks.
Well, according to
different sizes or whatever. I'm sorry. Go ahead, sis.
According to some Jewish stuff, childbirth was like 9 months was in a day, and you just stood up there and dropped them on the ground. They were big enough to drop out of the womb, so that's how Eve gave birth. It was not a 9-month cycle, but a 1-day cycle.
Well, but I'm a shit start again. I'm being all the way started tonight. But let's think about, back up what you say, sis, about the timing of her pregnancy. You said her 9 months was 1 day, right?
It was a very short period. It was like a couple of days, 1 day, whatever. Yeah.
Okay, so could it not be that those particular beings, they were on different time cycles, per se? Because y'all probably don't remember, but when we was Brother Wendell was doing the Book of Enki, we went through the different time differences between the Anunnaki time and
Earth time.
Exactly.
But we also know they were Anunnaki. We also know that from Wendell's work that they were Anunnaki.
And I see that's the point I've been trying to drive home. So, but I wanted people to come to that on their own conclusion. And again, if you are Anunnaki, how are you indigenous to the land? Unless I'm missing something.
Well, Olmecs were here, and they beat giants too. So we just
now I'm just curious because you have people that show up on the scene, say that they're this sect of people, but we cannot trace back what physical land they truly belong to.
Well, where did all the shortstops come from? Regular humans.
Sorry, what did you say?
Where did all the shortstops come from? The regular human size. They just, they said they came right out of the ground, and stuff like that. Autogenous.
Okay, so I'm finna go on the spiritual side.
Mm-hmm.
If I am autogenous, that means what?
They said they came up out of the...
Always been here, right?
Yeah, always existed.
So is Anunnaki autogenous?
Not according to that story of Enki.
Exactly. So if they came here, because Anunnaki is supposed to mean out of the sky or sky god, something like that. So if they came here and they're not indigenous, but you have folks that say they are autochthonous ones, they've always been here, that means that the Anunnaki are from another area and they really not supposed to be here. Or am I missing something? Maybe I'm missing something in it, because if the Hebrews are tied to the Anunnaki lineage, who is not indigenous to Mother Earth, and who set up their system of religion to go out and conquer lands, who's infringing on whom?
Well, you remember that when Enki did his creation stuff, he mixed with the land, his seed.
Right, he mixed his seed
with
but
the
land but the land was already motherfucking here.
And that's what I mean. But out of that
exactly.
Became people.
That's people. Whose people? Because he's a giant. He's a giant. So whose people?
They didn't specify in that book.
But isn't that his line of people?
Well, I don't know.
Isn't that the Hebrews who are linked to the giant? No, let's link it back, man. Let's link it back.
Well, he said he saw two women out there playing and frolicking and had sex with him. So where they come from? So I can't say. I don't know. They didn't say nothing about them being Anunnaki.
So 200 fallen angels. That's why I keep asking these questions. I'm being shit started on purpose tonight. It's not just for you. It's just in general. I'm putting out these questions. So if 200, they call them fallen angels, came into the daughter of men, who's indigenous to Mother Earth?
At least 200 daughters of men.
Right, and that's if all 200 of them had children.
By the giants.
Yeah, if all of the 200 of the fallen ones just had children with 200 women.
Yeah, or one woman
apiece. Ain't no telling. They whole ass probably, who knows? they whole ass probably had baby mama. So I'm going to ask again. Who is indigenous to the land?
The mothers. That's the only ones that you just said. The mothers that they had sex with.
Exactly.
I still can't. I can't. The sex thing I just still don't.
I don't know how they did that. It's just amazing.
They didn't.
What they mean by what we know what they said about giants, what the measurement was. So that must be a spiritual thing. I don't know.
It had to be, but the doggone say they're not from here. Zulu say they're not from here. There's all type of people that. It's all type of people that say that they are not from here.
Right.
They do.
And they were here when they got here.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what culture you look in, you always see pictures of quote-unquote normal people, normal-sized people, and giants.
You do.
Mm-hmm. You do.
Like giant dinosaur folks. Yeah.
They have never written about a time where everything was just all giants. Because, I mean, if you think about it, look at the size of some insects. And they've been around through all of it.
True.
Right.
At a minimum, we got to give it up to the roaches. We know they had. I'm just saying. We know they had. Well, you know what? Shit, they probably brought the goddamn roaches with them. God damn it. But anyway.
I was thinking more about ants and things like that. Things that actually serve a purpose in nature.
We know they were
that serve. Absolutely. I'm going to give that to you. Absolutely.
Really?
So,
absolutely.
If the quote-unquote giants and titans were always something outside of the quote-unquote normal people, and they are the ones that were always at war.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
They're the ones that got rid of the giant trees.
Mm-hmm.
So it's possible that they stomached their own growth, and it was their punishment and karma for doing the shit that they was doing.
And they got wiped out, is what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Absolutely. Totally agree.
Because a lot of them were cannibals. They was just running around eating motherfuckers like Hershey Kisses. Because, everybody was melanated, so, that's all it was like to them little chocolate drops.
Right. That's true. That's true. So that's the point I was trying to make, family, that, people talk about, the Anunnaki, especially the melanated people, as being, in a savior-like capacity, and I'm still saying how, when they're not indigenous to Mother Earth. And if you go back to some of those other ancient tablets, it talks about how Mother Earth was ganged up on to take her down, to take her over. Okay? And you even even in Dr. York's book, it talks about the war where one of the planets got blown up, and then something hit Mother Earth. She got damaged. She went into quarantine. Woo, etc., etc. But in not the Sumerian tablets. It was, I can't think of the book right now, but it clearly talks about how
was that the
Mother
Alba?
No, I can't think of it. And it could have even been the Book of Enki, but I saw it in two places where it talked about, and they were using it in the term that the other planets.
So Soren talks about it too in his book.
Who does? You said Thor. Who you say this?
Thorson. Wait a minute. Yeah. Thorson?
Okay.
What is his name? Thorson. Wait a minute. It just dropped out of my head. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'll keep going. If you come up with it, you can say it. But it talks about how the other planets said that Mother Earth had too much motherfucking power, and she wasn't willing to share, and supposedly she was bullying other people.
Oh, yeah. Wouldn't get out the way.
So the other planets came up with to take her down. Wait a minute, bitch, but if she minding her motherfucking business just because her and her crew is guarding they shit, who the fuck is you? And I said that out the gate when I heard that, because I knew that was male energy of those particular energy centers of planets taken over the feminine energy planets. So it would make sense that those beings from those particular locations, and again, I feel that those locations are not up in the sky like they say. I believe they're on the outer layers past the Arctic.
Was that the Emerald Tablets?
That's Thorpe? Emerald Tablets?
Oh.
The Emerald Tablets. It was something else.
Was that when they was referring to her as Sophia? Is that a Sophia? When she
either Sophia or Gaia. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think it was Sophia.
Yeah, I've seen it, but in the other text they were calling her Gaia. I'll have to find it. But yeah.
And she created, and they was mad at her because she created us. She created us out of loneliness, and they said that she was arrogant.
Yeah, and I didn't understand why they was fucking with her. That's her motherfucking business. What she do on her body. I never agreed with that fuck shit that they was talking that she was the bad guy. Who the hell are you to come over to her territory to tell her what the fuck to do?
Yeah.
And they had to jump her.
Jump. Yes. Yeah.
Well, they broke her down in size, too.
Yeah, because
they made her smaller than what she was.
That she was the most powerful. She could not be fucked with. So those outer layers had to gang up to come fuck with her.
Hey, sis.
Uh-huh.
If you think about it, like how we know that Lucifer and all that, they put a male image on the divine feminine.
Right.
And the fact that, Lucifer was the most beautiful angel, the god of music and everything else, and everybody turned on him. Just like everybody turned on Mama because she was doing her thing. Yeah.
Minding her business. You got to throw that in there. Minding her business.
She can't help if she was all that.
Right, and a bag of chips. Exactly.
And still the center of the universe because everybody from everywhere still here fucking around.
Still over here trying to run her ship. Exactly. So that's why I went through this whole exercise on who is the lineage of the Hebrews. Okay, so if they tied to the Anunnaki, where the fuck the Anunnaki from? Because we know that they're not from here. So hopefully, again, and I know I keep saying this every week, I've been saying this since I've been on the air, about the patriarch system on where it came from.
Mm-hmm.
That system is not even indigenous to Mother Earth. And that's why everything is so fucked up, because you have beings that are not from here trying to benefit off of the autochthonous one's land. Because according to their story, they fucked up their own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's almost like the Superman story. They was motherfucking clowning on they little stuff, and then you gonna send your motherfucking folks over here.
And if you really look at that Superman story, Zod, General Zod, and his two lieutenants who got locked up and this, that, or the other, they were actually trying to save the planet and get rid of all the goddamn scientists before they done stupid shit.
Which they doing?
And they turned out to be the bad guys.
You're right. If you look at it, they was trying to save the planet.
Right. And then They send their boy here, and then because of him being here, and the karma he got, and the karma that's following him, all type of shit wind up happening here.
Exactly.
Right. All type of shit wind up happening here.
Exactly. And then his little folks blending in with the indigenous people, and now the indigenous or autochthonous ones have to clean up their bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
So, absolutely. Okay, so let's get back to what Blood is talking about up in this book. Shepherds leading their flock. As we sat and looked almost spellbound, the silent hillsides around us were in a moment filled with life and sound. The shepherds led their flocks forth from the gates of the city. They were in full view, and we watched them and listened to them with no little interest. Thousands of sheep and goats were there, grouped in dense, confused masses. The shepherds stood together until all came out. Then they separated, each shepherd taking a different path and uttering as he advanced a shrill, peculiar call. The sheep heard them. At first, the masses swayed and moved as if shaken by some internal convulsion. Then points struck out in the direction taken by the shepherds. These became longer and longer until the confused masses were resolved into the long living streams flowing after their leader. Such sight was not new to me. Still, it had lost none of its interest. It was perhaps one of the most vivid illustrations which human eyes could witness of that beautiful discourse of our Lord recorded by John. And the sheep hear the shepherd's voice, and he calleth his own sheep by name, and leadeth them out. And when he putteth forth his own sheep, he goeth before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice. And a stranger will they not follow, for they know not the voice of strangers. Okay, Blood, whatever. The shepherds themselves had none of that peaceful and placid aspect which is generally associated with pastoral life and habit. They looked more like warriors marching to the battlefield, a long gun slung from the shoulder, a dagger and a heavy pistol in the belt, a light battle axe or iron-headed club in the hand. Such were their equipment, and their fierce flashing eyes and squalling countenances showed but too plainly that they were prepared to use their weapons at any moment. They were all Arabs, not the true sons of the desert, but these people are a trip. You know why I said y'all they a trip for this time. But a mongoloid race living in the mountains and acting as shepherds to the Druses while feeding their own flocks. So I'm gonna take a swig of my water, y'all. What do you call it, Arab?
Mongrel.
Mongrel.
Mongrel. So
this is 1865, y'all.
So that's that Prometheus stuff, just like they showed in that movie Prometheus. They were Mongoloids, and they came in the Golden Horde.
Okay, but and that's a good point, because if you're linking well, now you just answered my fucking question, sis, because I had that question earlier this week. Thank you, my love. Because I said, well, where the fuck
You're welcome,
the Mongrels or Mongoloids come from? So if that's Prometheus line, so ain't he from somewhere else, or am I making that up?
Yeah, he came over. It showed in the movie the Anunnaki dropped his bootski off on this planet for punishment.
I didn't know his ass got kicked off. They kicked his ass off.
Yeah, he got kicked out. And he had to drink the cup to disintegrate himself. And his DNA and RNA
went in the water.
In the water.
Right?
And then that's where you get that thing. We were polywogs, and then the evolutionary chart. And that's what Darwin is saying.
Well, he's saying that for that particular
their people.
Exactly, but that's not. But I'm point this out again. So is Prometheus motherfucking from here?
No, he's not. He got kicked off of some other place with the cup that he was drinking from had the Sanskrit on it, or whatever they call that letter for the Anunnaki on it. Yeah,
okay,
and he had to drink it as a poison.
So the Anunnaki ain't from here. They ain't from here. They had the nerve to motherfucking drop somebody else off.
This is Prison Planet now. Remember, it's supposed to be Prison Planet.
Right, but it wasn't supposed to be. They made it.
In a Prison Planet, exactly.
Okay.
So for their wayward people that they couldn't control. That's the same thing with the dude that came here before Inky got here. He was a prisoner from killing Anunnaki.
Yeah.
He escaped. Remember?
Yeah, I can't think of Blood's name. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Was it
he wind up.
Was it Enlil, wasn't it?
No, Enlil was Inky's brother. It was somebody else, right? Because he wind up. They saying he ultimately had to leave because they gave him Mars.
Yeah, he died on Mars.
Yeah, so I can't think of Blood's name because remember, he was here first.
Right.
But wasn't he here to colonize?
No,
was he not here to set up a colony?
No, he was here escaping.
Oh,
remember somebody?
Okay.
He pushed him over the steps. He thought they were going to execute him, and he ran here.
Okay. Well, yeah. So if you saying the Mongoloids are from Prometheus, so wouldn't that make sense why they stay over in war? Why the Mongoloids stay warring with folks over in that area?
They took down
everybody. That makes a hell of a lot of sense to me.
They took down everybody. They took down every civilization on this planet. And I had written some notes on that. If we were going to go on that, I would have had them out. I would have found them. But they took down the Franks, became the names of the cultures changed. The French, the Spanish, they all changed because the Mongoloids conquered them. That's the history of the Mongoloids. They've conquered everybody.
So
it was 10.
Recap. I'm sorry. Go ahead, sis.
It was 10 of them. It was more than that, but only 10 survived.
You mean 10 tribes?
And they came. And Abraham was talking about them, or in some book about Abraham, he was warring against the Mongoloids.
So right now we just identified 2 races that are not autonomous to Mother Earth. That's Prometheus motherfucking people, the Mongoloids, but who still back in the day were melanated.
Mongrel. You got mongrel and mongoloid.
Okay, so they're different people. I don't know who the hell mongrel is.
Well, the ones that look like the Down syndrome kids. When I was listening to Lex Well, he tracked that stuff all the way back to him. Down syndrome and all that kind of stuff. The one-eyed Cyclops kind of kids and all kinds of stuff was born with their genetics.
Okay, so that's Prometheus and them people then.
Remember Genghis Khan and them? They were mongrel hordes.
He's Genghis Khan's folks.
The Tartarians were mongrels.
Okay,
That's
so
right.
how is that different from the Mongoloid?
The Mongoloids, that would be like the caveman looking people.
Mhm. That's them. That's all.
Okay.
But I guess they all the same.
Mongolia. So they just have the different names from where they came from, but I think it's the same people.
Same bloodline.
Same bloodline.
But the original mongrels were melanated. The Mongoloids, I think they've always been quote unquote white.
Yeah, but the Mongolians are melanated, right? The Mongoloids are. You said it the other way around.
The mongrels were melanated.
Okay, so the Mongolians or Mongols are the Genghis Khan folks, and they were not melanated as far as I know of.
Okay, so then where did they come from?
I'm telling you, that's that Prometheus stuff.
No, we just said the Prometheus.
I know. I heard.
Oh, okay.
I know what in that book. I know what he wrote in that book. It's it's like a play on words. They may have wrote the wrong words or at that time they were called that.
I don't think they wrote the wrong words. It's too damn close, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it is close. They would have to be the same people.
Right. So I don't know.
Mixed with some of the indigenous styles like they were doing. They were doing a lot of mixing. A lot of mixing.
It's really interesting.
Oh,
Okay, a mongrel, they say. Mongrel, a noun. A dog of no definable type or breed. Half-breed, hybrid, crossbreed.
Damn.
So a mongrel is a half-breed, mixed breed.
Okay, it's mixed with something. So
with indigenous females. And maybe that's why some of them are darker than the others.
Yeah, that's deep, y'all. And if that's Prometheus, motherfucking people, whoo, child, let me tell you. So hopefully you all are seeing the connection beyond what was written in the biblical days. If the mongrel, the mixed race, was of Prometheus, and the Anunnaki dropped his motherfucking ass off here, so they was born in another territory outside of Mother Earth. And they brought their fuck shit over here, which I've been telling y'all all along. So very, very interesting. And so this 1865, and he's still talking shit about them, saying living in the mountains and acting as shepherds to the Druses while feeding their own flock. So
then you got
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Now you have the Druses. Remember the Druses came over here too with us and tried to conquer us?
Now, who are the Druses? Sis, break that down, because I thought they meant Druids. They just spelled it.
I thought they were Druids too. But you said that in your some time ago when you were talking that the Iberians were with the Druses and they wore turbans.
Makes sense. It lines up. It definitely lines up.
So they would probably be the Moors.
Child,
because they wore the turbans.
I just can't hardly even, y'all. Okay, so it's saying their costume is different from that of the Druses and almost the same as that of the desert Arabs. A coarse shirt of blue calico bound round the waist by a leathern girdle, a loose robe of goat's hair, and a handkerchief thrown over the head and fastened by a fillet of camel's hair, such as their whole costume, and it is filthy besides, and generally in rags. So, I mean, don't nobody care about him slamming about, how they supposedly in rags, because he got hate for the people. But he's describing a turban, right?
Yeah, he is. They had the blue thing around the waist, he says. And but see, the Moors don't call themselves Hebrews, and the blue is Hebrew. They had tassels attached, and they had blue around their waist. So the Moors, or the Druses, that's not their description, but they did have turbans.
Right.
But Hebrews don't wear turbans. They wear caps.
Right. I see where you go on with this, sis. So how could Moors be associated with Hebrews is where you're going with it.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you 1,000%. Okay, so the Druses. From Kennewatt, we saw 2 large deserted villages higher up the mountains and a large deserted town below on the borders of the plains. These we had not time to visit. The hospitable Druses repeatedly urged us to spend another day with them, and we felt a strong inclination to linger in this old city, for there was much to interest us, not in the ruins merely, but likewise in the modern inhabitation. When squatting in the evening in the large reception room of the Sheikh's house, we observed with some surprise that though it was often crowded with Druses, old and young, not a man of them tasted coffee or tobacco except Mahmoud. They all belong to the order of Ukala, or initiated, and they are Nazarites in the widest sense.
Nazarites? Oh,
yeah,
that's Samson.
Girl, stop. Let me just spell it so we won't lie on this man.
Nazer?
Well, he spells it Nazir. IT, but that's close enough, TES.
Yeah, that's Samson in the Bible. He would not do tobacco. He would not take in drink. He was dedicated to the worship of the Most High.
Child, I can't hardly even. So, that brings in something different then. Okay, whatever. I'm gonna keep reading. We'll come back to that. Kennewatt, in fact, is almost a holy city for the Druses. Their great religious chief resides here, and this place is consequently the center of power and intrigue. They are a remarkable people. Their religion is a mystery. Okay, so I'm going to have to stop there, sis. Refresh my memory about Samson. How was he tied in with the Hebrews?
Well, Samson, the Nazarites was a sect, like priest. And,
okay, but the priest to whom?
To the Most High. Because Samson...
To the Most High, how? Is the Most High in the Hebrews?
Yeah, the Most High in the Hebrews.
Okay,
and
so
he was...
I'm sorry, go ahead.
He was... Remember Samson and Delilah?
Yeah, I remember the story. I just want you to read, because I don't want to lie on the man when I go where I'm finna go. Yeah, I remember with the cutting off of the motherfucking hair and all that. Yeah.
He was to be dedicated to the Most High. Let me see. I think, what was that? That's in Samuel or whatever. And he fell in love with one of the women of the plain, and I think she was a king's daughter. I'm not sure, and her name was Delilah. And so she beguiled him because he was whipping their behinds. He was tearing down all of their troops and killing them, and he was so strong because they wanted to. His people were capturing them. I mean, defeating them, and because they were the intruders, the ones that was with Delilah. So she got him, met him one day, and she beguiled him into loving her, supposedly, and then telling her the secrets of his strength. And she got, I think she gave him some drink or something, and he told her the secrets of his strength. And when he went to sleep from the liquor she gave him, well, he wasn't supposed to drink liquor. He wasn't supposed to smoke. He wasn't supposed to indulge in anything in the world. But he did it with her. And she cut off his hair when he was asleep. I can't remember the people he was. I think he was fighting the Philistines.
Okay, but he was fighting on behalf of the Most High of the Hebrew side, right? But
the Philistines were giants.
Okay, but
and he was fighting on the part of the Hebrews. I mean, I'm looking it up here.
So if he was fighting on behalf of the Hebrews, why is blood sitting up here talking about up in this book? They are a remarkable people. Their religion is a mystery.
Now he was of the tribe of Dan. He's one of the 12 tribes, and Dan was one of the lost tribes. Dan, and Samson was of that tribe. You know, Judah, Israel, Ishmael. You know, right. Dan was one of the tribes, and Samson was the tribe of Dan.
Okay,
and that's in the book of Judges.
Okay, so. But why would his religion be a mystery if they serve in the same Most High?
Because they're not. The Philistines were not part of them. They were two different factions, two different bloodlines, and the Philistines were the giants.
He didn't say nothing about no Philistines religion.
Well, I'm just telling you what the story of Samson is about.
Oh, okay, but yeah, I'm saying all that to say. Something's not adding up from what's
I know, but
there.
The story of Samson that you're talking about in that book right there is Samson and the Philistines. Samson fought the Philistines.
Which you saying are the giants, but yet he's sitting up here saying that the Nazarites' religion is a mystery. Oh, okay then. I thought they were a part of your people, but okay then, blood, whatever. Okay,
they're not.
They're not. The lost tribe of Dan or whatever, isn't that still a part of the bloodline? So what does lost tribe mean?
Well, Dan, they just, they don't know who the real Hebrews are, so they always call us the lost tribe. The lost tribe of Israel, the lost tribe. You understand?
No, I don't understand, because they making shit up. That's my point.
You say they did now. You ain't gonna give me to say that.
No, but that's my point though, because if you
say that, I can't say that to save my life. But the names they gave us, is the names they gave us. Just like they gave us Negro, Colored, Black, and African American. There's names that whoever wrote whatever history gave us. So this book here is like a name that was given to these people in the Bible. So the Bible, I told you I had problems with the Bible because it didn't mesh. It doesn't work together.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And
yeah.
I
so I want to point that out because I'm like, come on now, if and I never would have caught that if you didn't know that the Nazarites were part of Samson. Yeah, I would have never caught that. So
no, and it's spelled N-I-E. Yeah, it's spelled just like you said it.
Yeah, the Nazareth.
Yeah, the Nazareth. N-A-Z-I-R-I-T-E.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the way it's spelled. But we know they butchered the spelling and stuff.
Maybe he was Nazarene. I don't know, but that was his religious title is a Nazarite because he was like a priest, dedicated to the service of his God. That's what he was supposed to be dedicated to until he met that Philistine girlfriend.
Right.
And when he
fighting on behalf of the Hebrews. Okay.
Right.
And Noah and Moses and all these fucking Hebrews that were fucking giants. It came from some fucking place else. I don't know how we are the Hebrews.
We not. But anyhow, yeah.
We don't know how Moses was a giant, but that's what they say.
That don't make me a Hebrew, regardless to what they say about him.
Don't make him a giant either, because somebody said it. So I don't know.
So what does whether or not he a giant got to do with me being a Hebrew?
Well, it depends on.
It don't depend on shit.
Huh?
You. That's just you. Now you acting like the Moors and them.
No,
the Moors say everybody Moors, and now you saying I'm a Hebrew. How everybody keep telling me what I am?
Well, I ain't gonna tell you nothing.
But you just did repeatedly.
Did I say you were a Hebrew? I'm sorry, I must have misspoke.
Yeah, you did say we. You kept saying we.
Oh,
and I was
okay.
just giving it a pass. Yeah, you did say we. I was just giving it a pass.
If I want to be the chosen one of God, I'm going to go ahead. Just like you want to be a God, I want to be a chosen.
Yeah, you knock yourself out. That's your people. Knock yourself right on out. Now, I'm not going to say my bloodline not mixed in with that fuck shit. But,
yeah.
No, I'm cool.
Well, when it all boils down, who are we anyway? But, because I got a lot of Indian in me, and I'm what you call it, a non-entity like a Mayan, so I got that in me too.
Right.
So I know I'm an autogenous, but
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. So
I don't.
Okay.
I like to be a chosen one of somebody, but Well,
no, I'm good. I'm good with not being a chosen one.
He's good. Okay.
Going on.
No, Brother Saturn will not tell you you're a chosen one. Okay. You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah,
sorry, it was just general speaking.
Yeah. I
the
do
demiurge can't choose me for shit.
That's my point. I'm good. I'm good. Now, I'm not chosen with the Anunnakki, and all of them and that fuck shit. So I agree with you on that. Okay, so it says, he's saying their religion is a mystery. Their manners are a simple and patriarchal.
Yeah, they were.
But like the Hebrews ain't. Okay, but anyway, their union and courage are proverbial. Ooh, and those small in numbers, they form the most powerful party in Syria.
Well, they didn't deal with women.
This is 1865, y'all. So he's saying that the Nazarites was running shit in Syria.
Yeah.
So whenever danger threatens or
warrior,
whenever they find it expedient to resist the demands or extractions of the port, they congregate in the Haran, and no force has ever been found sufficient to dislodge or subdue them. So, yeah, that lines up with what you said, this of them being warriors.
They found a woman. That's what they did. They found Jezebel. What's her name? Yeah, Delilah. They found Delilah. Because he fell in love with Delilah. And they were not supposed to mix women and all that kind of stuff. They were not supposed to drink. They were not supposed to indulge in anything. No sex either. Just like these darn priests. What they doing?
Right, which I side-eye that, but okay then. So
the priests out there, they're having themselves a good time with the boys. So anyway,
I'm just side-eye. They're right. That's why I throw the side-eye. But okay then. So sorry, go ahead, Brother Sean.
Hair being a source of power is not something that's exclusive to that dude. They talked about the fact with the Buffalo Soldiers, how they found out that quote-unquote Indians were better trackers when their hair was long.
Yeah. That's what we got power anyways, our hair.
Our
hair is copper, and we have that antenna.
Exactly. I was thinking about that.
Our hair is our power. So that means Samson may have been one of us in color. Let me clarify that, Booksha.
Yeah, and pretty much we know most of the people, only ones that we may be on the fence with is the mongrel, but we know
the mongrel.
The mongrel, that everybody was of color. So that goes without saying.
They could have still been melanated and been mongrels, just mixed tribes.
Well, the Moors say they Asian at it too.
Yeah, but if everybody was melanated at one point across the entire planet, all these quote-unquote pale people that's taking all these identities that were originally melanated people's identities. Before the pale man was here, you hear people conquering other people's lands, raping their women, marrying into tribes, this, that, or the other, so you were no longer a pure blood. That mixed bloodline. That's all it said was half-breeds. It didn't say about color.
Exactly.
Yeah, they never cared about color until after the 1300s.
I'm just saying, before there was a color difference to begin with.
But Prometheus, like I said, it says he was dropped here by the Anunnaki for some slight he had done.
Yeah, who knows, girl? They always was into it with somebody, so who knows?
Right.
Okay, so it says here they defied Ibrahim Pasha and destroyed the flower of the Egyptian army. Here they have once and again defeated the Turkish troops and driven them back with disgrace to the very walls of Damascus. Physically, they are the finest race in Western Asia, tall, stalwart, hardy mountaineers. Accustomed from childhood to vigorous exercise and trained in athletic sports and the use of arms, they form a body of brave and daring irregulars, such as the world could scarcely match. But the grand secret of their power is their union. They act together as one man. Brotherly union in peace, war, and prosperity and adversity is the chief article of their religious creed. Okay, so it makes sense why he was saying they're patriarchal also. It makes sense if he said that Goliath wasn't supposed to be messing with no women. So that makes sense.
Samson.
Okay. Samson. Yeah. So, as regards religion, they are divided into two classes. Child, I can't with this book. I just motherfucking can't. Here we go. As regards religion, they are divided into two classes, the initiate and the ignorant. Now, I'm going to drink me a swig of water. When y'all hear them talk about initiates,
Egyptian.
Exactly. We're going to take it back. So
mystery school.
Either mystery schools, or you fast forward to today, you're going into like the secret society stuff, but which still came out of the Egyptian mystery school, right?
That's the president.
Because according to them, if you're not in the orders, the initiate or whatever, then everybody else is ignorant, right?
That's why they put us in cattle and slaves, because they're part of the initiate.
Yeah, that's deep, gal. That's deep. Okay.
Bushes and all that bush.
Okay, so it's going to get even deeper. With the former, the rites, ceremony, and doctrine remain a profound secret. The holy books are preserved and read by them alone.
Yep.
They assemble in chapels every Thursday evening, refusing admission to all others. What they do then and there is unknown, but there is a reason to believe that those meetings are quite as much of a political as a religious character. Okay, I guess that's a period. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so to me it sounds like some particular knowledge they have from them ancient Egyptian mystery schools, which ain't nothing but what we're calling metaphysics or the sacred geometry and all of that. Okay, so of course they would hide that particular knowledge and keep passing it down within their little set, because that's what keeps them at that high priest level. Just like we see with the secret societies today. Okay? And all of that sacred knowledge that they're talking about is really how to navigate within the frequencies of this realm, in the frequency of Mother Earth.
Mhm.
Okay, so he really can't sit up here and talk about them when we know that's what the Hebrews do as well. Because remember, Enoch means Metatron, which means the cube.
Right.
Okay, so but that's deep, y'all. So here we go. The Druze shaped from a hereditary nobility and preserve with great tenacity all the pride and state of their order. Okay, so I can't make this shit up. I told y'all it was the order. They received and entertained travelers with profuse hospitality, and no compensation in money can be offered to them. To strangers, under ordinary circumstances, they are obliging, communicative, and faithful. In time of peace, they are industrious, and courteous, but in war, they are noted alike for daring, courage, and unsparing ferocity. And let me stop because something just came to me. If they were the fierce warriors that they say they were, and they knew the metaphysics side or the secret sciences, I could see them fucking up the Hebrews big time.
Mhm.
I could see them fucking them up, because remember, the Hebrews had that knowledge also,
And they
of
lost
the
it.
sacred sciences. Yeah, I could see them putting a spanking on them. Oh, we getting staticky feedback from somebody.
That is static.
Okay, it's stopped. Okay, cool. All right. Okay, so when among this strange and primitive people, how they become primitive? I'm motherfucking confused.
Yeah, I was in.
Yeah, he needs to stop. So anyway, when among this strange and primitive people in Bashan, I felt at once that I was out of the beaten track of tourists, where one can pitch his tent, picket his horses, cook his provisions, and march again, caring for nobody and nobody caring for him. Here all is different. We are among a people of patriarchal manners and genuine patriotical hospitality. We were looked on and treated as welcome guests. Oh, okay then. I find it interesting that he felt comfy cozy. Oh, okay then. We could not pass town or village without being entreated to accept hospitality. We, not my lord, descend while his servants prepare a little food, is the urgent language of every village sheik. The coffee is always on the hearth, a kid or lamb. So y'all pick that up?
What'd you say?
You pick that up? The coffee is always on the hearth, a kid or lamb. So meaning, we've been telling y'all that kid means sheep or lamb. So don't be calling your children no motherfucking kids.
Yeah, goat.
Yeah. So a kid or lamb representative of the old fatted calf is at hand and can be got ready with all the dispatch of ancient days. Food for servants, provender for horses, accommodation for all are given as matters of course. In traveling through Bashan, one fancies himself carried back to the days when the patriarchs sat in their tent doors, ready to welcome every visitor and hail every passerby. Okay, and then section 3, and Bashan and Carmel shake off their fruit. This text was constantly in my mind while I wandered through Bashan and riding down from the ruins of Kenath among the mountains to the ruins of Suede. At their base, it struck me that the beautiful words in which, who's that, Cowper described modern Sicily are strikingly descriptive of modern Palestine.
Mm-hmm.
A last Sicily, rude fragments, now lie scattered where the shapely columns stood. Her palaces are dust, and all her streets the voice of singing and the sprightly chord are silent. Revelry and dance and show suffer a syncope and solemn pause while God performs upon the trembling stage of his own works and dreadful parts alone. Okay, well, whatever. We might begin, alas, for Palestine, and go on through the whole passage. For Palestine's palaces are dust, her stately columns fallen, her streets silent, her fields desolate, while God alone performs his dreadful part, fulfilling to the very letter the prophetic curses pronounced upon the land long, long centuries ago. Okay, so basically, Palestine, all that fighting was going on, and a lot of those ancient wars, I would say, all of those ancient wars took place over there, and then made it on our side of the house.
Or vice versa, according to Horace Butler.
Right, according to
that
him.
place is the
but
second.
He said it in South America, though, right? Because it was wars and stuff in South America, but still the Americas. Yep.
Yeah. But see, now you see how they then tied that Palestine into the Philistines and all that kind of stuff. And they put it over there and named that place Palestine. And they still kind of like play that ancient war game with them over there, them folks.
So what are you suggesting? Palestine is over here?
I'm with. I kind of like Horace Butler. Yes, I did.
Horace Butler's take that.
Yeah, his philosophy. I would ascribe to that one.
Okay, so and I'm not even disputing that because we do know in South America
the structures are there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm not even disputing that, but I'm gonna go back to the Hebrew.
Oh, Inky baby.
Right.
Yep.
They still
it's kind of tough.
They're not autochthonous to the land.
Yeah,
so
but
wherever they put their foot down, or their spaceships down, or whoever they motherfucking kicked off, they're still not autochthonous to the land. I don't care what side they was on. But yeah, but I'm with you. It very well could be. I don't know. Okay, so it's this wonderful fulfillment of prophecy. We rode along the lines of the Roman road at least as closely as branches of the great old oaks and jungles of thorns and bushes would permit, for the highways lie waste. Every opening to the right and left revealed ruins, now a tomb in a quiet nook, now a temple in a lonely forest glade, now a shapeless and nameless heap of stones and falling columns, and now through a long green vista, the shattered walls and towers of an ancient city. The country is filled with ruins in every direction to which the eye turns, in every spot on which it rests. Ruins are visible so truly, so wonderfully have the prophecies been fulfilled. I will destroy your high places and bring your sanctuaries until desolation. And so he's quoting Leviticus. The palaces shall be forsaken. That's Isaiah. I will make your cities waste. The land shall be utterly spoiled. Isaiah. Many other ruins, doubtless, lie concealed among the forests, buried beneath giant oaks, or shrouded by luxurious brambles.
Giant oak.
Wow.
Giant.
Yeah. Judging by the thorns and the thistles which hem in every path and half conceal every ruin, one would suppose that Bashan had received a double portion of the curse. I just find it really interesting how he's sitting up here talking about some motherfucking body being cursed.
But can you imagine when they were cast out of the so-called garden where the giant trees and the lush fruits, they had they put an angel, that's what the script says, to guard it so they can't get in. Man, that has to be some serious angel. So
I still want to know, yet again, like Brother Sean broke down, that's still not adding up where these people came from. That just,
I don't know.
Bruh. Nah, bruh, like the youngins say, nah, bruh, I can't even do that. That doesn't line up. To me, the Garden of Eden, they got kicked out of their own shit.
Well, it's supposed to be over here anyway, so I don't know.
Okay. All right, so the mountains of Bashan, though not generally very steep, are rugged and rocky, yet everywhere on their sides I saw the remains of old terraces along every slope, up every bank, from the bottom of the deepest gleam, where the Olander bends over the tiny streamlet, to the highest peak on which the clouds of heaven sleep, cradle on winter snows. These tell of a former toil and industry, and so do the heaps of loose stones that have been collected off the soil and piled in the corners of the little fields. In the days of Bashan's glory, fig trees and olives and pomegranates were wrangled along terraces, and vines hung down in rich festoons over the broken walls. But now Bashan has shaken off its fruits. For a nation is come upon my land, strong and without number. He hath laid my vine waste and barked my fig. Sorry, go ahead, sis.
That description of that place, Saddam Hussein, he wasn't a Syrian, he was a Babylonian or something, and he had the botanical gardens in Iraq.
Yeah, sure did.
Yeah, so that reminds me when you're saying that.
Yeah, that's interesting that you say that, because as I was reading it, do you know I had that picture in my mind?
It came in my head as you were saying it.
Yeah, that's interesting that you say that. Yeah, because I think they showed one of
that was Nebuchadnezzar's place. Nebuchadnezzar was supposed to be Saddam Hussein's ancestor.
That's interesting. Yeah, because I can see that place just as clear. They had laid it out with the gardens and all of that. So that's really interesting that you said that. So it says, for a nation is come up upon my land, strong and without number. He hath laid my vine waste and barked my fig tree. He hath made it clean, bare, and cast it away. The field is waste, the land mourneth. The new wine is dried up, the oil languisheth. The vine is dried up.
That was a curse that was supposed to have. Only the jackals would go there, it says. And I think it was in Daniel, the book of Daniel. So Saddam Hussein went down just like that.
Because he's quoting this out of Job when he said, the vine is dried up, the fig trees languisheth, the pomegranate tree, the palm tree also, and the apple tree. Even all the trees of the fields are withered, because joy is withered away from the sons of men. Okay. So it says, the scenery is still rich. It is rich in foliage of the evergreen oak, the oak of Bashan, rich in numbers of evergreen shrubs, rich in green pastures. It is a picturesque, too, and occasionally even grand, where the glens are deep and winding, and the outliners of the intervening ridges varied with many dark cliffs and wooded banks. The whole mountain range is of volcano origin, and the peaks shoot up, conical or cup-shaped, forming long, serried lines. One thing struck me as peculiar. The rocks are black. The soil is black. The buildings are all black. It might be thought that the landscape would thus have a gloomy aspect, and it would have were it not for the fresh green grass of the, and I can't read that, and meadows. This is kind of copied out. And the brilliant foliage of the oak forest, which often glitters beneath the blaze of sunshine like forests of prisms. I confess it was with feelings of awe I looked from time to time out over those desolate but still beautiful slopes to the more desolate plains. This is a damn shame, y'all, all that fighting that went on. So anyway, I knew what caused the desolation.
They were men.
Exactly.
They were men.
The silence, too, awed me yet more, for it was profound. The voice of nature itself was hushed, and not a leaf in the forest rustled. There is always something cheerful, something reviving to the flattering spirit in the unceasing murmur of a great city, now rising and now falling on the breeze as one approaches it or passes by, and in the continuous hum of a rural scene where the call of the herd and the whistle of the plowman and the roll of the wagon and the bleating of the flock and the lowing of the kine melt into one's nature's choruses. Here cities studded the whole country, but the stillness of death reigned in them. There was no plowman in the field, no shepherd on the hillside, no flock on the pasture, no wagon, no wayfarer on the road. Yet there was a time when the land teemed with an industrial, a bustling, a joyous population. At that time, prophets wrote, "Your highways shall be desolate. The wayfaring man ceaseth, the earth mourneth and languisheth. The land shall be utterly emptied and utterly spoiled, for the Lord hath spoken this word." Therefore had the curse devoured the land. Therefore the inhabitants of the land are consumed, and a few men left. Every house is shut up, the mirth of the land is gone, and the city is left desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction. Okay, so let me pause. Go ahead on, Brother Sean. I need to sip some water on that one. Go ahead.
Now, this God,
now, I know, brother,
who allegedly created everything and everybody is his children.
Right.
Sending these mystery-ass people that he just created out of nowhere, everywhere to destroy. Now, according to the story, they're enslaved in a foreign land for 400 years.
That was the land.
Okay. Let's say that this is the quote-unquote Holy Land that they talk about in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
So that means the Pharaoh and all of them was over here too. So considering the Mississippi is supposed to be the Nile.
Right.
The Red Sea is supposed to be the Red River or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Moses and them ran from South America to North America, but according to some people, everything is in Utah. So,
right.
For
yeah.
Forrest Butler putting everything in South America. Okay,
right.
we have a little contradiction with that, but
right.
I'm just trying to figure out when, where, and how is this God and his chosen people right? I mean, they it's a patriarchal system. It keeps saying that. We know for a fact that we are a matriarchal people. So anything dealing with this patriarchal is bullshit. It's not of mother, because nothing in this patriarchal bullshit gives mama her credit.
Right.
Period. And I'm just tripping that they so happy about going around taking shit from everybody else. He had cursed and devoured the land.
Right.
Therefore, the inhabitants of the land are consumed, and few men are left. So they could come in and have their way with the women.
Right.
Every house is shut up.
Go ahead. Yep.
That's not something I want to be chosen by.
I'm good
with
it.
I did mention something, though. In the beginning, and you jumped down my throat, they said that Yahweh stole the creation. And that was the Yahweh personality of this conquer and kill dude. That's who he was.
That's the same person in this book with a million names.
Yeah, but Yahweh stole the creation, and he went through conquering and killing everybody that walked. He told his people to do that. And that was the argument with some of the prophets about who Yahweh really was. So you got it. It's right on it. They didn't like him. And they said he wasn't really the representative of the Creator that made.
What creator? What
they were? I'm just telling you what you said.
I know, but no, I just want. But see, that's where the myths keep coming into play.
Mother Earth is the Creator. That's what I'm saying. It's a man who stole the creation from the female.
Oh, okay.
I stole it. He didn't say if it was a man or a woman he stole it for. He said he stole it.
Yeah.
I didn't say it was a woman. I didn't say it was a man. But I said that Yahweh, of course, we can assume by that name it's a man. and he stole the creation, the creator, mother creator. He stole it from her.
Right. But Yahweh is the Anunnaki.
There was one of them that represented the Anunnaki, yeah. So, I mean, they were wrong. What can I say? They got to answer for themselves. But that's what was printed by, I think Isaiah said it, that they stole it. They stole the creation. Enkidu, all of them set themselves up with God, and that was wrong, according to what Isaiah said.
But these same people that's saying that it's wrong still talks about stealing land and shit in this creator's glory.
No, they ain't said nothing about it's wrong. They still on the same tangent. They haven't said that it was wrong from what they did, because Isaiah said it. They didn't say it. They still go on that.
Okay.
Yeah, they still go crazy about God told us to do this. He told us to do. No, he didn't tell you to do nothing like that. That's not what he told them. He said to grow fruitful and multiply. He didn't say nothing about going there and killing nobody.
So it's a he, because you keep saying he.
It's just a figure of speech. Don't go there. It's just a figure of speech, because I've been saying it all my life. He.
Yeah,
so I've got.
I know. And I've been trying to get people to change up.
It's like, them, who, we always say things that we, in general. I'm not saying specific, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying specific. But, we, and I say that at me, have this ingrained Christian modality to say God is a he. And I learned that ain't so, because he don't have any compassion if it's a Yahweh.
Right, and I guess where I'm going with it and why I'm banging on it so hard, and I know we only have a couple minutes, so let me hurry up so we can say last word, is that whole religion and biblical concept is false. If we set up the patriarch system from these other beings to take control of the realm. So we're going to pick back up. So since you have any last words for the family, because we're going to get cut off.
I had fun listening to this one. I wasn't shocked at all. But it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I hope the family enjoyed it, because it was a learning experience.
Yeah, it was a lot. Brother Sean, you have any last words for the family?
Love y'all.
Okay.
Love you too, Brother
All right,
Sean.
family. All right, well, love you both. Thanks so much to both of you as my wonderful co-hosts. Thank you, family, for rocking out with us. We will be back next week with the Giants, and I'm going to get some other names of the other motherfucking